Previously, in the Age of Ashes. I didn't expect reinforcements, but I'm glad to have them as we take the Triad stronghold in Kintargo.
The eyes focus on Roshin and then Eleonora, before with a moaning of strained wood and sliding metal parts within, the thing raises an arm and steps out towards the stairs. And she says, "You have no idea what you're getting into here. The Triad will have your heads."
It's amazing how many of the Triad go and start saying that once we start killing rooms full of them. Do they train you to say that sort of thing?
There are 2 people in here, however. Each of them would be shackled to one end of the bed directly in front of you. A man and a woman. Doesn't take a heal check to ensure that he is in fact dead.
Okay.
It looks like he had succumbed to his wounds some time ago. You burst into yet another bunk room, of course. But this one occupied something much different. There's 4 halflings in here. And 4 sets of manacles still shackled to the bed frames, the other ends hanging pointlessly across the ground. The halflings have already got 3 bed sheets tied together end to end.
Now we're talking.
Coiled up, and all 4 of them, as you barge in the door, immediately turn to look at you.
Like I come in, bows up.
Ready to murder.
Because I hear another one in the background.
Yeah, you know there's another one back there, but like
And I'll put my hand
in a
up.
hallway with Marshall with a big axe, and Roshin in full plate, and Trishik attached to the wall. I'm
gonna put my hand down on Marshall's head and just like tap it, just like.
Just so you know, it is a 30-foot.
Oh, I'm sorry, hold on.
Yeah, just.
Roshin is
Not
looking.
yet.
Oh, it's a slaver.
You see white knuckles on her sword here.
Resonate's like halfway to fireball.
I just kind of get to look like just a reminder.
I can go through the wall if you want me to.
We left our session off.
About to roll initiative.
Yeah, pretty much exactly right there. A lot of things came together into this. Calm down. And 2 weeks ago, we met back up with Valia, very randomly, and then made our way up Tennyson Tower with the Scarlet Triad forces of Kintargo soon to be hiding out. We've learned a little bit in here. They have a lot of alchemists and a lot of resources.
Less now.
Less now. And the wizard, responsible for a lot of the strange happenings throughout Kintargo, who seems to be heading up this portion of whatever exactly their plan is, still fairly unclear, is right here at this topmost level. Take some session rerolls,
Ooh, you may need
because
them.
this is going to be a session, yeah, we're going to be glad to have them, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Take it.
Thank you, ma'am.
And as we had left off, as you can see here on the table, they have left a folded index card with the word battle cry written on it, so they will remember to do the thing that they have.
Yep.
We had a pretty spectacular little plan, actually. It went real good, I would say.
I have a legitimate question right before we do initiative.
I have many answers, friend.
Can I actually use my intimidate for my initiative? Or
No, because you are literally hiding. Like, you are the opposite of being intimidated.
Am I
right
though?
now. You are hiding in a corner. You can use stealth if you're not Eleonora.
This one.
Who
This one's using stealth.
definitely cannot use stealth. If you wanted to use deception, you could absolutely use deception for yours.
Damn.
The lizard and I will be probably using
But
stealth.
whatever it is you choose to go with here,
When I meet
I am.
the
we did a
lizard.
fantastic job of baiting these little dwarves out into a terrible, terrible position
With our assets.
with your assets.
With my assets.
Yep.
It is time to roll some initiative.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
That's a number.
Could be worse.
Not terrible.
That is worse.
Was anyone scouting? I think we were all just
I
hiding.
think everyone's just hiding. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, definitely nobody's scouting. Everyone's hiding except for Eleanor, who's actively being a distraction. So
Yeah.
no, it would not have the scouting buff this time.
I got a number.
I also got a
also
number.
got a number.
My number was bad.
Mine's about as good as it gets.
I hate you.
Like, have you considered just rolling good numbers instead of bad numbers?
Don't worry.
Wait, what? That can be a thing?
That could be a
By
thing.
default.
Oh, Rasheen, what do you have?
I have a 22.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What level are you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Resume?
I have a 21.
Is that a natural one?
No, it was 5.
We
Your
caster
perception-
classes are actually
Yeah,
not. We're deceptively slow.
Yes, yeah. Eleonora.
After you.
You have a 10 sign.
By default, I'm gonna make everybody else's initiatives better. So
That's fair.
After
you know,
you.
someone's gonna hold down the back end here, right? Marshall.
27.
You guys
Loser.
suck. 27's at least decent.
I hope
Trishik?
these guys are.
I was about to say, it was
It's
okay.
kind of low, but a 40.
could be higher.
All of our initiative luck went to the lizard.
The good news is that these two dwarves, who have been so successfully honeypotted by Eleanor and Valia, are distracted at the moment and are going to take a pretty beefy penalty to their initiatives.
Why did I look?
Don't look, because now I can't lie about it.
Stop being a loser, Nick. That's the reason I sat there.
The one, you got 27, Marshall?
Yeah.
Enemies win ties. The one a little further back has the benefits of
Angles.
seeing everybody rush out at a much better angle to this hallway with a nat 20 on his initiative,
Stop
giving him a
looking.
whopping 27
You nerd.
to Ty Marshall here. Is much more alert for danger, and turns already reaching for his weapon as his friend is not. Even
We beat him.
as Valia flips her rapier around, this guy still is not. Hans here still not immediately realized what exactly is going on.
Hans?
More just confused than anything. Trishik up on the wall. You're up first.
Battle cry.
Yeah, give me some battle cries. Yeah, you guys can each. You can take the front one. You can take the back one.
You both roll 11s.
Yeah.
We got
33.
okay.
29.
Okay, they both friend one.
Woo.
Trishik.
All right. So I'm in the same space as Marshall, just above him.
Yes.
I'm going to shoot the one across the room with my bow,
Okay.
and we're going to hope. Oh, can I get a couple of tokens?
Yeah, I guess you want some little dwarfy boys. Don't worry, I got little dwarfy boys. It's the same little dwarfy boys we put on the board like 20 billion times at this point.
Their life is pain.
But there's no pigs.
As long as there's no.
They just show up to get dunked repeatedly. These
right.
tokens have been abused.
So bow shot at the one across the room first
Okay.
for a natural 20.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna
Hey.
say that probably Chris.
Start
Yeah,
it off.
nicely done.
All right. So I'm glad I got my dice all in preparation here.
Man, knowing Sirenscape has hotkeys just makes my life so much easier.
Sirenscape has hotkeys?
Yeah, I
That's
can tell you had a whole like side tangent about this the other day.
Wow.
Like the noises for like the arrows
17,
critting and
19,
firing. I have
38,
hotkeys.
44, and he's pinned.
Yeah, well, he noticed. He's not going to do anything about it in the immediate future. But he did notice.
As if the two guys yelling at him wasn't enough.
Oh,
Yeah, I
and
mean, yeah, that's fair.
he's now bleeding for
D6?
D6. Or no,
Alrighty.
because it's a
No, it's crit, so it's a D12.
crit, so it's a D12.
Ooh. Big numbers.
You would say.
And
That's one action. That's the first action of combat.
combat
Scorch.
starts. Blink. All right, so on to the next one. We're going to just. That went surprisingly well. I'm going to shoot this one directly in his back.
Trishik was ready!
Trishik
He
I'm just
was
gonna
ready!
does not.
Roll the same handful of dice because that's another natural 20.
They're just dead. Like,
Maybe.
No, this is the second one.
oh, the other guy.
Yeah, the other guy.
Okay, so everyone's glued to the floor forever.
Yeah, so
You, let me see that D20. Give me that.
You have your saltwater cup.
I gotta make this salt concoction again.
that's a 35,
Floating that.
and
All right.
he's pinned
And bleeding.
and bleeding for D12. And you know, why not?
Yeah, I mean,
At the
3
rate
for
you're going.
3.
Yeah,
Three
we're
for
gonna
three.
shoot the one across the room again because I'm like, are they? What is going on here? Why are they
What
just?
an ambush.
Okay, so that would be
Is that has one
That's-
digit.
that's
it's
a
third
5.
Attack. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no way that hits.
so 16.
No. You're expecting him to not get pinned down so easily, but they were not ready at all. So
Fantastic open, though.
yeah, the first of these
Fantastic.
dwarves in the back here, as this arrow shoots through his leg, pinning his greave, the arrowhead punching in the stone floor of the tower. What are you firing?
Short bow.
Ballista bolts?
They're Nolly's arrows.
No, it doesn't stick into the floor. It goes in one leg and hits the other.
Oh, so he's just got his shoelaces tied together.
Yes.
Yes.
Fair enough. Well, he's gonna reach down as he just kind of yelps in pain, doubles over, and quickly goes to pull that arrow out. I'm pretty sure the athletics check is basically a formality.
You could technically
It's DC
roll
like
a 1.
10, isn't it?
It's DC 10.
He would pass on a 1, so
Okay.
like he
Not everyone would.
And it's not a formality because it's an action.
That's true. Yeah, I mean the roll is a formality,
Yeah.
but it is an action. And pulls that out. No! Oh, fuck! How many are there? He grabs his flail
Hello, little man.
and
From the ceiling.
takes a step back up against the wall here onto the long side, a bit of a distance, flail in hand, a bit out of range, and stumbles up, kind of leaning against the wall a bit. Turns and calls back, Brazak! Brazak! What are you doing?
Get out of my hallway.
Marshall.
Yes, Marshall. I'm gonna take a step up,
Hello.
Hello.
get my go-go juice. I'm not gonna get big. I'm just gonna get angry and swing immediately to the guy on my right. That was horrible. Let's fix
You got to open a little stronger than that.
Yeah, you got a little bit stronger than that. Much better.
There you go.
36.
30. All right, yeah, that'll 36. He is frightened one and flanked. That is easily going to critically hit.
Okay, so 19 plus 17,
36.
36 plus another 5 fire damage.
41.
41. And if it's crit, yeah.
82.
And he's on fire because you crit him with your flaming axe.
So he's now bleeding and on fire.
Oh, speaking of bleeding, roll bleed damage for the guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a d12 while he keeps going.
So he just comes around. You literally just see him get mad, come around the corner, flaming axe straight to this guy's back.
Just 2.
And that guy, now as he stumbles over, like he'd be knocked down to his knees if he wasn't pinned together. Stumbles a bit, bleeding, bursts into flame. And Valia, rapier flipped around, just kind of grins and sticks it forward. Also flanking.
Does he realize it's a trap yet?
I think he's not going to get the opportunity to realize it's a trap. I don't think we're going to get here before.
Yeah, he ain't surviving.
Valia is going to get only a 27, which is going to normal hit. And then sneak attack things, so all of these.
Oh, do I roll my fire damage now or later?
When it's his
It's on
turn.
his turn.
Oh, when
so
it's his
he
turn.
will take another
If he survives.
If he survives.
25 points, which just barely doesn't take him down. But in almost a quick flick of the wrist, she strikes once and twice. Somehow almost as a singular motion. And the second that's not agile, so it is actually just going to be a 21. But frightened one and flanking, that's still going to hit him.
I was about to say, I'm surprised he wasn't dead already.
Yeah, but that second strike there is absolutely going to take him down. I don't think he gets the luxury of realizing there was a trap.
I just had serious deja vu.
Our friend Hans here is instantly stricken down at the end of that trap. And
And it's still going.
turning quickly to Eleonora, raising an eyebrow. Surprisingly impressive. Well trained.
I grin.
Rasheen.
Okay, so
For what it
Roshin's...
matters, I'm not actually in your way. So
Yeah, and I should be able to step by Marshall.
Yeah, it's Rasheen's up
So Roshin doesn't see any of this because she's too far back in the hallway.
You probably
really.
see blood go flying.
Yeah.
Fire.
So Roshin's just gonna kind of move out, slide past Marshall, and you just kind of glance left and right and just see just the butchery. And will slide up to confront the other one who's still trying to, like, who's basically still bleeding and horribly gored. Raise her shield as she comes in and just sort of methodically swing down at him. So that's going to be a 29.
29 will catch him.
So that's going to be 6. Moderate curse is active, so 12 slashing.
Alrighty. And then that brings us to Resme. This is gone.
Resme is going to move up behind Marshall. And kind of...
Out?
yep.
Okay.
Well, you can stand under Trushik, I think, because Trushik's on the ceiling.
Yeah, you could be there and
Yeah.
you would still be able to see out in either direction.
And I'll kind of peek out and see the one guy who's left. And I'll just be like, huh, he looks like he's having a bad day. Let's make it a little worse. And she will throw up a little flame will appear in her hand, and she'll cast it out at him. And that's produce flame.
Now he too will be on fire.
I think my 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 5th level cantrips, I don't think it's a tiny flame anymore. 5th level produce flame is a pretty big fire.
It's probably dense, but it doesn't get big.
That's
Like,
true. It's
it's
just like a
little
miniature
bee.
sun at this
But then
point.
like, it hits you and then just swarms over.
So that's only... ooh, he is flat-footed to me, though, because he hasn't gone yet. So that's...
He has gone.
He has gone. Oh, that's a
The guy
20.
who hasn't got died already.
That's a 26.
26 will catch him, if only
Ooh.
barely.
Point is, it still hits.
4, right?
D4s.
D4s.
Oh, D4s,
But
right.
you get 5 of them.
That's right.
The pile
Crap,
of
where'd they go?
D4s.
Here.
I had pile of D4s, but
Here's
now I don't know where they
4.
are.
Here's
5.
You just need 5.
Weren't
Okay,
you
perfect.
using the D4s to keep track of your spells?
No, I don't do that.
We don't do that here.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That'll be 17 fire damage.
Okie dokie.
Light him up.
Did his persistent damage stop, by the way?
It did not know.
Okay.
Brings us to Eleonora.
And with a big old grin, she's gonna run past up in that corner. And as she
Ow.
runs past him, she's gonna actually reach down and lock arms with him, so she brings him around facing her. And we're gonna like,
Why don't you have attack of opportunity?
because it's my lucky day. Well, here's the next step to
You're a
advance.
frontliner. Act like it.
33.
33.
Flanking
33
and
flanking
And
is absolutely critical. hit.
Yeah!
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Ambush successful.
Yeah.
Good job, team.
Ooh, that's
Way to go,
almost max
nerd.
damage. 26. So 52 normal damage and then 10 frost damage.
Yeah, he's not alive anymore.
Nice!
ambush.
Deleted.
That was a
Team.
Yay. Crit, 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 crit. Fight's over.
Holy ambushed, Batman.
Resume reaches down into her bag of holding and pulls out a hot cup of tea. This calls for libations.
Let's see
Cup
what-
of tea.
got
Mary
my-
Poppins.
I've got my alchemy kit in there. I always keep a cup of tea on the
What
pump.
action?
No, that would have been move cast.
No, me. Move, attack.
Oh.
Move me up into the hall all the way past the doors.
All the way to the back of this.
Yeah.
Let me just move this camera here a little bit. There we go. You zoom up to the window alongside the doorway and come up against it. The two, these little dwarves, they had absolutely no chance. But with that successful takedown, their cries for help did not fall entirely on deaf ears. And as you come to the doorway, you would get here right about in time to hear an incantation coming through from inside. And I'm going to add a token to initiative. Let me get this. Misa Yonwa Magikai! And you'd see a brief flash of blue light under the doorframe.
Ooh, the music changed.
And in the room, in a whirl of magical energy, 3 creatures would appear, simply deposited from wherever it was they were summoned forth from. They are strange and horrifying creatures, to be sure. Largely humanoid, save for their completely pale but very dark blue flesh, covered in countless mars, scars, and marks from a lifetime of cuts and possibly self-inflicted abuse. They appear to be garbed with nothing more than coils upon coils of black, spiked chains, wrapped around their waists, their arms, their necks, hooked into their flesh in many places, anchored into their own bodies. As they arrive in the room, the three of them are already scrambling down to reach for barbed and pointed ends of these to wield in lieu of proper weaponry. And they are going to go in here. All right, Trishik.
So does that count as them having acted? Or
That was his turn.
Summoning those things.
yeah, but they get their own initiative. So does that mean that they're flat-footed to me?
They basically round one was getting here. They are not. I guess they'd be flat-footed to you. They'd be flat-footed to you. They haven't really with this initiative. They haven't assessed this new situation fast enough.
Well,
And here are
Good tokens.
some little blue chainmans.
you know, the last time a handful of people were in the room in front of me and weren't aware quite that I was here, that went really well for me. So I'm just gonna do that 3 more times. Starting top down, first, second, third shot. First shot I will re-roll because that is a 3 on the dice.
The die. There's only one.
The dices. To a 3, so the first shot misses.
It's all those 20s.
Second shot is a 20.
There it is.
First shot the leader for the second shot.
Well, you think I'm doing what I'm really doing.
Apparently that was my feint, the first one. So 11, 18, 19, 38, 44 total, and pinned.
Was that
It's middle.
an arrow shoots through, locking a bunch of the chains on this creature together. It doesn't wince or cry out in pain like the Triad members had done. In response, it looks up to you. It looks down its wound and grins.
And a 24.
And a 24 will just catch the third one. But as you go to, oh, he hasn't acted yet. He doesn't have a reaction.
18 and bleeding D6.
Okay.
Bleeding D12 on the middle one.
Marshall.
Oh,
Got
I'm
a
just.
real solid Sirenscape setup for this one.
Well, he just sees these blue chain guys and just takes a whack at the one right in front of
One of
him.
them just appears right next to you, so it's perfect tee and off range.
That is a 34.
34
Quap.
is going to crit him. They have no armor. They are just exposed, save for these chains, and your axe cuts through their flesh just like it would any man.
That's a big number.
That is a big number. So that's 21 plus 5 fire, so that's 26. Does the fire get multiplied too? Or no?
Yeah, it does.
It does. Okay, so 26 times 2.
50.
50.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
You
forgot
didn't add
the
your
17.
I'm gonna say there's
I
gotta
forgot
be
the
more.
17.
Yeah, I was like that.
I forgot the 17. So wait, that's if that's 21
86.
plus 86. Okay, yeah.
And
86
they're
is the
burning
total?
D6.
Yes.
So as your axe just absolutely hits and bites through this dude, you actually strike him down instantly.
Nice.
What with the arrow that Trishik had laid
Wait,
on him, he just
there's an adjacent
topples.
target.
Out of
He's
your
not in
reach.
your
He's not within your reach.
Because you're not big.
Oh, that would still be funny. That's
That's
okay.
one action.
That was an action. You can
I,
be big.
I can still. Am I big? How big is the room though?
It's the same as all the rest of these. Got a traditional ceiling. Like you can
Alright.
stoop in a bit, but you can get big.
Why not?
Only one place you can do it because you're kind of locked in by your a lot of your team. So that's the only way you can really go.
Might as well. And then take a swing at the guy
So there's now adjacent to you.
that is now adjacent to me.
Probably worth.
Worth it. Worth it. I think it's gonna be worth it.
Okay, let's take a hero point.
Wow.
Worth.
Money.
So okay,
40
minus-
and 19.
for
Minus
19
5.
Minus 5. So that's gonna be 14 plus 21. That's still a 35.
This man has already been crit once this round.
And now he's been crit again.
Not
What
as
do you
big,
roll on the
but
die?
18.
19.
19.
5, 17, so 21 plus 4, so that's 25 times 2. So that's 30. That's 50. I rolled low on that one.
Okay. So
50, I rolled low.
ironically, the one who has been crit twice is actually still up.
Will he be after he bleeds, though?
And
That is true.
the one who just got the lesser hit went down instantly. And this,
Oh, this guy did.
He's not down.
he's not down, no.
okay.
He takes a big hit. I mean, it cleaves into a heart, but he's not down. He's on fire and bleeding, but he's not down immediately. Valia, as you strike while he's down and swell up here, quickly looks across the room. What the hell? Before moving out around you up to this this thing. And just right up alongside it, weakened as it is, it looks like it's barely still standing. There's not enough, barely enough of it to hold together to still be there. And calls out, Brazzak! Show yourself! These fiends are nothing! And without, just goes straight in with a rapier. Swish, flick. 40.
Yeah.
40.
I saw the natural 20 face.
It wasn't a natural 20 face, it was the 19 face.
Very similar
a
to the
crit.
natural 20 face.
But he is going to go down immediately.
So, this has gone surprisingly well.
How do you know they're
That's-
fiends? You haven't spoken to them yet.
They do look a bit like fiends, though.
How do you know what a fiend looks like? Do they all look?
We've seen quite a few of them.
How can you tell? Do they smell?
As this strike lands from Valia, knocks down the second one, he falls to the floor, surely dead, where he twitches and writhes a bit. Succulent pain. And stands up,
Oh,
as does the other.
In
Still mortally wounded. They were dead. That guy was about cleaved in half. You can see his body has pulled itself back together enough that chains have wrought their way through his flesh to keep him going. They're both standing up. That does provoke attacks of opportunity if you want to take it on one of them.
Of course. Probably the closer one of the two.
They're both adjacent, but I get what you're going for.
well, you're gonna hit both.
I'm hitting both.
And what did you get?
I rolled 18, so that's 21 plus 18,
it's a 39.
39.
So 39. You'll cleave your axe right through both of them again, sending them cackling to the floor, because axe specialization. As you see them twitch and writhe and move their broken, battered bodies to stand again. Still bleeding, still aflame.
Are you sure they're not cats?
The one in the back,
I get what you're going for.
the one in the back pulls around a length of chain up over its shoulder, twirls it above its head for a moment, and whips it with a barbed point towards Rasheen. And it's gonna be a 24 for Rasheen.
24, it's an easy deflection. She's just gonna flip the shield and knock it to the side.
And as you deflect that, he moves his other hand and turns it over and raises it up in a quick flick as one of the barbed chains from one of the bodies on the ground in front of you, of its own volition, pulls up and shoots up towards Marshall. He's attacking with the other one's chains.
Interesting.
That is going to be a 26.
Just hits me.
Your AC sucks, man.
He's raging and huge.
I'm raging
That's
in
what
pain.
fuck there he is.
Oh, you're huge. That's right.
I had to count down my dial.
Yeah,
I'm
my AC goes down to 26.
Yeah.
It's going to hit you for 21 points of piercing damage.
21.
Yes, and as that barbed tip punches in and rips out from your flesh, it's going to leave a jagged, bleeding wound behind. And then he is going to twirl his own chain back again and bring it around wide at Roshin in just a wild strike that is Oh, it's a 24 again, actually.
Yeah, 24 again.
10 higher than the first roll.
Just watersheds it and knocks it aside.
So as this one fights, as the two writhe on the ground, clearly readying to right themselves once again, each of you, as you look at them, can see that their forms contort and warp. Their flesh and their muscles twist and knot, pulling towards the other side of their open wounds, forming just more of the scars all throughout all across their bodies. The two on the ground here are horribly butchered, but it just barely looks like it's enough that in just a few seconds they'll be able to right themselves once more. But worse, as you look at them, their faces seem to shift and change. No longer these strange, just blue grins, but faces that you recognize. Family members, friends, longtime associates that you, well, haven't seen since they passed. I need everybody to make me a will save.
Jeez.
Oh no.
Ooh, that was good.
Give you this session reroll. I'll put this in the dice jail because it's got it out for me.
Well, taste still makes you feel better.
That's better. Okay. That's evened out. 33. And
33.
if I pass, it's critical.
36.
22.
Not 20.
29.
So 22, Eleanor, whoever you see, whatever departed figure of yours is somehow mixed into this face, kind of strikes you deeply. You are frightened too. Rasheen.
So Roshin is seeing this happen before her, sees the faces turn, sees them being cut down to come back up again, and is noticing them really like it when we stick them with sharp things.
They do seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, she's gonna rack her brain and try to think, what the heck are these things? Actually, I'm sorry, let me think a minute. I have a spell for this. She doesn't care what they are as long as we can kill them. Her eye is gonna blaze with red energy, and she's Noktug, and she's again gonna get this battlefield vision of weakness, where she can find out what they are weak to destroy them.
You see this field kind of distort to this grassy plain, tree lines at its edges interspersed with red roses, and one of these creatures fighting against the faceless soldier who strikes it down again and again as they just continue to rise, before he raises his blade to the heavens and cries out a plea to his god, and with a blast of holy light strikes this fiend down once and for all. Another fighting them in the distance, a smaller frame, a halfling of some kind, reaches, you get all their weaknesses, right?
I get all the weaknesses.
Reaches around behind his hip to unsheathe a dagger, a brighter metal, silver, plunging into this creature's heart and ending it for good. You need good or silver damage to end them.
All right. So her vision will clear. Silver holy light, Shla Day, and she's gonna cast a bolt of holy energy, forming into a cascading wave of thorny briars to spear the one in front of her.
Is that a hit, or do I roll something?
That is Divine Lance. I need to roll a hit.
Oh, okay, he is, at the moment, technically unconscious. So, what do you got?
Oh, fair enough. Okay, that's 34.
Yeah, dude, that hits him.
Okay. Do I need to roll damage?
Does good damage?
It does good damage.
And as that hits, it is going to, like, this creature's face is immediately going to turn to actual pain and rage. And just this flash of light from your Divine Lance is going to, in an instant, burn this creature away entirely, leaving only ash behind.
That's my actions.
Resume.
Just as a quick out-of-character question, positive and good are different,
They
correct?
are different, yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to confirm that. Resme will know that she doesn't really have anything to combat this, and she'll kind of be looking around, and she'll whisper out, Revelarum Magica, and she'll cast see invisibility.
Okay.
Because he's casting and she cannot see him.
Makes sense to me. And as that cast completes, nothing changes. You don't see anything out of the ordinary, anything different. Nothing is revealed to you.
And she'll quickly look around again, and she'll throw a shield up.
All right. Eleonora.
On top of being frightened, you see Eleanor's face drop. She's very much so not happy that she's seeing what she's seeing. Can she open the door from where she's standing, or do I need to step up to it? Can I just reach around and
You
just
could
swing?
open the door from here, yeah.
Yeah, I swing open the door. It's like, I know you're in there. I'm coming to get you.
So as you throw this door open,
Fireball.
from your position, you can pretty clearly see into the room, and you can see that there is in fact a man standing in this doorway, standing tall, olive-skinned, slick dark hair, pointy beard. The wizard you've heard about throughout Kintargo. He's standing in a room that looks much like a study. Small bookshelves adorned with various tomes. A desk in the corner he was clearly sat at just a moment before as the chair is flung carelessly back from it where he quickly stood. But that is him. And this is him.
Miss Roisin, I think I found the coward. I'm actually going to attempt to tumble through him to get around to the other side of him.
Okay. Let's get this reflex DC, right?
Yes. It is a 27.
Yeah, 27 is actually going to fail. Whereas he looks like a elder middle-aged man, certainly older than most of your party appears here. He is surprisingly agile, and using the dwarf frame as you go to move past him, he quickly shoulders up to it to blunt you from passing.
All right, so I'm just right in front of him.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the way you want to dance, then I'm going to bleeding critical finisher him.
I'll hit you with my sword.
A 38.
Nice.
Striker's rolling good.
38 will,
Yeah.
38 will critically hit.
Let me pick up this big old stack of dice.
Did you say finisher crit?
I'll show you a finisher.
No, you won't.
10,
See,
20,
the secret was just rolling high the whole time.
26,
Just roll 20s, nerd.
This man is bleeding his intestines out.
32. I lost math.
Last number you said was
39.
32.
39 times 2, so 78. And he's bleeding for 46 damage now. Jeez. As I'm just...
You do not want finishers to crit you.
It's like
brutal.
it's like magic.
As it slashes through the front of his robe, running across some of the simple layers he has, finding no armor, biting deep in him, he staggers back a bit from that surely.
I was just staring him in the eye.
No, steel,
And,
my only weakness.
He stumbles back, clearly winces from this, but quickly raises one hand in the motion of a spell as he reaches back to a pouch at the back of his belt with the other. Oh, Morum! Pulls out a small glass bead and casts it down to the floor between the two of you as he finishes this incantation. And with that, he conjures up
A goose.
a brief blue flash of energy, which appears as almost a mirrored glass barrier between the two of you before shimmering back out of the visible spectrum. This casting seems to be quite involved, and with the motions and the beat involved as he's taking this hit here, he stumbles a bit afterward, putting one hand down to his wound and turning back up to look at you. You stand before Brazzak Il-Varashma, master conjurer. You will not defeat me so simply. And then bleeds for a lot of damage, I imagine.
Well, my name is Eleanor Beatrice Trojan Oleander, and I beg to differ.
It's with the action lines in the background.
For 7. Low.
Been up 4d6.
Low. No,
I'm considering Hero playing the bleed.
8.
I got 2 villain points, but I'm gonna leave it for now. That's actually his whole turn. It's 3 action cast. Trishik.
We were just talking about those earlier.
What a weird coincidence.
Well, I see one of these things is still standing. One appears to be attempting to get back up.
Yes, one still looks fine. He's actually completely unharmed, and the other one is pulling itself together and moving to right itself.
All right, well, I'm going to sink an arrow into the one that is standing. It looks unharmed.
Yep, completely unharmed. That was the crit button. Maybe it's that.
Well, that is a 34.
Yep, well, okay. See, I knew what I was doing. My fingers knew what they were about. That's the crit button.
Oh, but that's not a sneak attack.
It's not a sneak attack, but it is a critical hit.
So,
Pretty decent, though.
16, 21.
Okay.
And he's pinned.
Yep. Everyone gets to live with their chains tangled.
And he's also bleeding for a D12.
God, our strikers are so on fire. You guys are great.
And I reckon I'm just going to shoot him again.
Yeah, why not? We're great the first time.
That's going to likely miss because that is a 20.
A 20 is in fact gonna miss.
And then I will slink back and hide.
Okay.
37.
All right, Marshall.
Well, silver and good damage.
You got any silver and holy damage in you, barbarian?
That vial of silver sheen I kept telling you to get. Did you get one?
He did too.
Hey, guess who has one?
I forgot about that.
Nick is just a little bit out of character, right? You've been trying to tell people, hey, we got some money. We should really, in our downtime, get some like vials of silver sheen and stuff.
Like running into a lot of things with like damage resistance to normal stuff. Let's get silver sheen and cold iron
how's
backup
vindication
weapons.
feel?
Well, it'd be better if we weren't gonna make it harder for us to get beat up.
Jeez.
It's okay.
All right, so I guess. Well, I see the one is trying to get back up. I can't really do much about it except, well, I'm just gonna light my axe on fire and keep smacking it and making sure it stays down. Do barbarian things.
You can just
Can't you technically
beat
coup de
the
grace it?
crap out of it while it's on the ground there. No, it's not a mechanic. You can just beat the crap out of it while it's barely mobile on the ground and pretty much unresponsive. And like your strike is gonna land, like cleaving another massive rend in its torso, shattering ribs, ripping its flesh asunder.
I mean, the only other thing I was thinking about is I literally just step on him and then go for the other guy.
Stomp on him.
I am a giant.
You
so-
can roll an athletics to try to grapple him. To like literally pin him down with your foot.
Might as well. For athletics, it's not a very good roll, but it's still a 26.
26 will succeed.
Oh.
So you bash him once, take a massive foot and stomp down on him. He's grabbed. He's held down there.
And upon that, can I basically just
Stand on him.
Stand on
You
him?
can just move past him freely. He's like, he's unconscious.
Because I'm gonna use my last action to take a swing at the one that's still standing.
Smack him, stomp him, move. That's
I didn't smack. I just did
you
the
said you
athletic.
hit him with. You said you're beating him with your axe.
Oh, I didn't know what else I could do. I thought I was just
Yeah.
stomp.
I mean,
Okay.
that's you're doing it. You're beating him with your axe.
Oh,
You
yeah,
step
right.
on him, then you move.
Never mind.
All right, but you've got him kind of stuck down there.
I mean, it's the least I could do if it keeps getting back up.
And Valia, hearing Brazzak at the far end of the hall, is going to move forth up to this much less injured fiend demon thing, and instead of going directly in for the killing stroke, she's going to first feint successfully before twirling around and striking from a different angle with not a critical hit, just a regular hit of the 30. A sick roll though. 31 points of damage into the thing, which isn't quite enough to bring it down. And so stuck under your foot here, as you kind of just step over it into the room, it's still writhing. It's still fighting. It's stuck, but as you're holding it down, it is just going to lash up at you with these chains, frantically swinging. Still this grin on its face as it's like the thing is near giblets. It's barely held together.
I was about to say, how's it attacking when I'm literally... on top of it.
But still, it's almost as fast as you can hurt it. Its body still pulls itself back together. Its spine reconnects. Enough of it pulls together. It can move an arm.
That's so ridiculous.
And it lashes up with a 37.
That's a crit. Jeez.
It is prone, but it is a natural 20 also, so it probably doesn't actually help out. And as it catches you with this chain...
Wait, as it's regenerating, can I attack it?
No, it hasn't. It's just
Oh,
attacking.
okay. Never mind. I didn't know.
You can take 36 points of piercing damage.
36.
And you are actually still bleeding as well, which is going to do 4 more. So 40 points of total damage you would take, and you can roll d20 to see if that ends. So many
Oh, yeah.
persistent effects. It's hard to keep track of the 1,000 persistent effects.
And I rolled a...
Yeah, 15 or higher it ends. And this chain...
15 exactly.
There you go, so it's over. Well, if you're bleeding again, I guess that's relevant because you're bleeding again because you just hit you again.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's kind of
yeah.
pointless. But this hook latches into you. You're a massive target now. And it hooks into your shoulder, burying itself as he pulls down on it. So he's grabbed. You're also grabbed. You are both immobilized in this spot because you're holding him down with your foot and he's holding you in place with this hooked chain. Everyone's stuck. And
Doesn't this guy also have an arrow immobilizing him? Because I crit him on the last round.
yeah, he's not going anywhere. He's
But
dead.
everyone's immobilized.
Everyone's immobilized. Nobody's moving anymore. Everyone's banned from movement.
Except me.
And he just smiles and kind of hisses out, "We can stay. There are many lessons to be learned from such pain." And lashes another hooked chain over towards Rasheen from the ground.
Like that.
I don't like him either.
Which is going to come for a 28.
28, actually, since she dropped her guard to cast a spell, that's actually going to hit her normally.
It's not going to catch into you quite as well. It's actually only going to do 12 points of piercing damage. But it is going to rip out, tearing its way through flesh to make you bleed as well. Before he looks to you, you can't really see Marshall, massive and turned away from him, but he can look over to Roshin. Or no, he looks over to Eleonora, sorry, down the hallway, through Marshall's legs, past his friend. Whatever face you saw, his entire face is replaced by that person. Someone in your life that's very close to you that has died. Exact replica. Wrapped in chains, torn apart. Blood all across the floor, looking your direction. And I need you to make me a will save.
Natural 20 for a 35 total.
Woo!
I don't know it's over this crap.
You scared me the first time, but that's
She's
me.
done
You
with
ain't-
your shite.
You hear, you ain't mother. Oh, I'm about to kill you real good, too.
And for the one still standing in the doorway here, kind of in everyone's way, as everyone is sort of looking its direction, you're still seeing its countenance twist and shift through the faces of those you've lost. And I need a will save for everyone.
Oh, I'm just
Well,
determined.
Ooh, baby.
Well, he's got 31.
Do I need to make another one?
You do, because you're fighting 1 because your turn happens, so go back to fighting 2 if you fail. Use an action to give you that.
Okay.
This is just the passive.
Hang on, I gotta check my dial.
Math.
That's a crap roll too, so it's a 23 actually.
23 will pass, if barely.
Then critical success.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's only on
It's saber
failure, so
stuff.
you're good there.
33.
You're good.
32.
You're good.
Or
32.
31.
23.
You're just barely good. But you all holding against this, Roshin.
Oh, you got some cheek, don't you? Shlade! And again, that holy blast of Milani's briars are going to tear into the pinned one under the feet.
He's
They-
not unconscious, but he is grabbed.
He bled for 10.
I don't think that's relevant at the moment. Oh wait, the top one bled for 10.
Both of
That
them.
matters.
I crit both of them. So they both would have bled for 10.
26 on the prone one.
26 will hit him, and again, as this rips through and his face changes, the joy immediately lost. His body incinerated under Milani's holy light. Ooh, pile of ash.
And I'm
Small
no longer pinned. Yay.
pile of ash.
No
And
longer
you
grabbed.
are no longer hooked. Yep, you are good. Just bleeding.
And she's
Yeah.
going to let's see. I've only got one action left. Can't really staunch my bleeding with that. So she will raise her shield because getting hit with that thing stinks.
As you
5
did,
points of bleed damage.
Okay.
as you did all that, Marshall just kind of looks at you like, "Thanks, Loss. I owe you a drink later."
Keep him down and I'll burn him off. Only a 10 to end.
Resme.
Resme will walk up, will lay her hand on your shoulder and go, Allegro, we need you to be at top of your game now.
Oh,
That's haste.
thank you.
Fast, please.
And then she'll move out behind Valia.
Alrighty.
Behind you, dear.
And then Eleonora.
Seeing he casts magic over the doorway, I just take my fist and I just kind of bump it up to see if there's actually.
Yeah, and you can feel that there is a solid barrier of some kind between the two of you.
You ain't not more than a coward. I'm gonna run towards the guy at the end of the hall. I'll drop my pencil. Can you grab my pencil? I'm just gonna swing batter for a third D7.
That crits. He's even flanked, so like he's super crits.
Don't happen
With the
now.
amount of damage he's taken, I'm not positive that it's physically possible to not kill him with the two-handed elven curve blade crit, but we'll see. Well, it's definitely possible to not kill him, but not possible to not put him down.
It's definitely possible to kill him. That's going to be 1734 because that do not happen, Ash.
Ooh, that actually does not put him down. Everything but.
And we go back around one more time. She's very not. She's actually just swinging the sword wildly. I'm going to not hero point. It's 8 on the die, so it's
Still not armored and flanked.
minus 5, so 3 plus 20, 23.
23 hits him.
Oh my god.
Flanked, 20, unarmored, naked guys with
flank,
chains.
20.
Yeah, okay.
20 points of damage.
Yeah, what?
20 points of
Yeah,
damage.
then that strike will knock him down to the ground, where he again immediately moves to pull himself up. His body stitches everything back together.
Pass this back. I lost my frightened condition.
Yeah.
And as you run back into the room there, Brazak calls after you. Insult as the child you are, I am now fool. Wokari Pathfinder. And as he incants magic, another of these creatures.
Can I use my reaction to recognize spell?
Sure.
If I can, keep the die on the table, that'd be nice too. I'm actually going to use my reroll on that if I can find it. If I can find it.
Wait, your hero point or your session roll?
My session reroll. That is going to be a 37.
It is a summon spell, one that would call a fiend of some kind from the circles of hell into this world. But it's different. It's a modified spell of some kind. Brazzak here is not simply casting magic as it's taught, as it's learned traditionally. He has enhanced this, perhaps with his own studies, perhaps with something else. And the fiend that is called forth is enhanced, is pulled here and enhanced by the magic. And you see as another one of these blue chain-wrapped fiends appears behind Eleonora, flanking her.
I don't know if I get this from it, but do I think a dispel magic would work on it?
Well, he's here now. It's an echo of one of these from below, but it's not something you'd really be able to dispel. And as he comes into being, you can see that this one is a little larger, almost engorged compared to the rest of them, moving a bit faster. Enhanced by whatever magic has pulled him here.
He's changing them somehow. These aren't normal summoned creatures.
And he's gonna lash out at Eleonora for a 26.
26 does not hit.
You are flanked because
I am
20 is
flanked,
not
so yeah,
dead.
so it does hit. Dang it, flank. Am I
wait,
flanked?
she dropped
He's down on the ground. He's prone.
He's prone, but he's still
And
flanked.
unconscious.
Okay, so he's not
Yeah,
actually
there's not like really
unconscious.
a concept of. Yeah, not really.
Okay,
He
okay,
basically can't go to 0.
Okay.
So he can't actually die.
Gotcha.
Unless you hit him with good or silver. And there's no real concept of like threat and range anymore. He's gonna catch you for 20 points of piercing damage, and you too will bleed from this strike as he whips the chain back again quickly, almost fighting with more focus than the rest of his allies as well. This one doesn't have that same grin, that same smile on his face. He strikes more with precision and purpose as Brazak commands him. The second swing absolutely going to catch nothing, though. Rashik.
I cannot see him. He's just a little too far down the hallway.
Right, he's down a 15-foot hallway through a door. You definitely can't see him. He's summoned that thing pretty much right in front of the door, though. It works both ways. He can't really see you guys either.
All right. Well, I will hop down off the wall and move out over here to where I can see coming out of hiding to fire a shot at the new individual who has joined us.
You are shooting through everything that exists, so he definitely has
Yes.
cover. But you can't take a shot.
And I'll, speaking over to Marshall, if you could be so kind, break down the wall.
Oh, and he's bleeding for a lot.
Oh,
And I'll point at
Which does
this
not-
wall over here towards where the wizard is.
11.
Like, we need to get in there and the hallway is blocked. So, 37.
Even with all of this cover, 37's gonna sail through and critically hit. Past Marshall, past Eleonora. She's
Make a-
curving arrows here.
make a little
Okay.
trick shot.
Ping, ping, pong, pong,
So,
pong.
10, 15, 17, 34, 39. Pinned and bleed D12.
Okay.
My bow and arrow.
I'm just assuming everyone's bleeding D12 all the time.
At this point, yeah. Except for him, he's bleed
He's bleeding
46.
46.
I do fire.
Oh, did he take that bleed damage with
He
you?
did, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I guess.
Oh, what's the? I'm sorry. I forgot what the frost rune does on a crit.
Slows.
them?
It's a
Yeah.
14 save for slowed.
Yeah. Okay. Gotta remember that.
You got one action left, I believe, Rashik?
No.
Moved out and shot.
Drop.
Drop.
Oh, drop.
Oh,
You were
drop,
up on the
run,
wall,
shoot.
right? Marshall.
Yeah, drop, move, shoot.
Do I roll to stop bleeding before?
End of your turn.
End of my turn, right? Okay, I forgot which way it goes. Well, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go up to that wall and take us back through the wall because.
I guess you can just reach it from here.
You can't just reach it from
Oh
it.
yeah, that's true. I just light up my axe and take a swing at it through the wall. I don't know what I have to roll. Athletics, I
It's
guess.
well, you're just hitting it. If you want to try, you can make an athletics check to move up and physically try to Kool-Aid Man through it, or you can hit it and just roll damage. You don't have to deal with its hardness.
I'm gonna wait, I have Juggernaut, so I'm just
yeah.
gonna Kool-Aid Man it.
Okay, yeah, attacking it'll chip away at it, but athletics is all or nothing. You break through, you're down.
Nat 20.
Oh, yeah!
So
Oh yeah!
Marshall like
Here's
just light up, like his beard and everything just lights up, and he's just so eager, and he just like rams through the wall, and just screams out, "Here's Marshall!" right at the wizard.
And with a massive sound of shattering here, as this stone is
Giant blazing dwarf.
absolutely destroyed.
The wizard's expression is like,
Your spells.
So that's
spells
one action.
can't protect it now. You
That's true.
coward.
You do have to step over to do that.
Yep.
So that's stepping up and
So that's two.
destroying the wall.
So that's
yeah,
two.
and now the wall, the wall of this this laboratory, this stone collapses over, crushing the desk and the bookshelf behind it. And Brazak just turns. Oh,
Am I close enough to hit him?
you are not. No,
Well, in that case, intimidate.
I think he's intimidated. But
Does a I can math, I swear. I doubt 25 will intimidate him, but
25 will not know.
Okay.
He's not mechanically. He's definitely intimidated, but he's also practiced and experienced, and he keeps his composure well. Although he is.
I mean, it's not every day a giant
pretty
flaming
freaking
dwarf is coming
intimidated
right
about
through his
now.
wall.
Well, plus he thought he was safe, which makes this particularly
thought he was
nice.
Wall of regular. It turns out it's significantly easier to destroy a regular wall than force.
It's not box of force.
Force cage on self. So, Folly is just going to look up and Marshall. Yeah, God.
As it turns out, if you don't know you can't do something, you can do it.
Very well. And she'll
I think she regrets attacking me ever.
slip under the through Marshall's legs here as he's just massive into the room up towards Brazzak, and as she comes in, sword flashing, reconsidering yet, and goes to thrust, flips, thrusts in their direction. So deception check, gonna pass if deception's ridiculous. Attack roll, I think it was flat-footed, actually going to miss.
Wow.
As Brazzak turns quickly. It must be stabbing.
I cannot let.
I fight for my friends.
A beautiful play cannot go.
First
uncoined.
volley.
So I'm sorry, she doesn't miss. She critically hits,
Value.
Sounds about
flipping
right.
a 24 to a 36.
Ooh.
Value.
Mad
Is
value.
going to land a very solid strike on this man.
You didn't play the sound effect.
I did.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
For 60 points of piercing damage. Runs him through.
Whatever shall we do?
Crit the boss.
Wait. You're saying all I have to do is hit him very hard. That's genius.
Meanwhile, there are still some strange chain devils in the room who are very upset about the general situation. But the good news is, oh god, I tripped, fell, and dropped this hero point into Resme's pockets. That's what we do now that she has it in her possession. Bringing up to 2, my friend.
I slipped and then I got better. I don't know how that works.
And these two creatures, as they rise up, the northernmost one, who it was the new arrival on the field, but has taken a decent hit from Shashik's arrow, pinned, as all chain men are cursed to be forever. Doesn't need to move, as he swings his chain down towards Eleanor.
Nimble dodge.
And the one to the southern end is going to stand, which will provoke your attack of opportunity if you want to hit him with that. And he goes back down.
Dead.
Whap.
Down, boy.
One hasn't learned a lesson
I
quite yet.
literally see him come back up and go, stop it! Like a fly swatter with my axe. Ka-dink!
It's Whack-a-Fiend.
26.
Does not.
26 flanked? Oh,
Does
27
not.
actually, because this is the first one.
Does not. Nimble
Does
dodge.
not. Nimble dodge.
I
Got
called
him.
nimble dodge this time.
And the second swing around is going to be much lower. Before, as you dip around these, you come back up, you again see your mother's face completely replacing his visage. I need a will save from you.
They really don't like you.
27.
27, this is the buffed one. 27 will still pass. But with these two still fighting, I'll need a will save from everyone. Just from the presence of these flickering forms you see crossing their face.
So, does this have a critical failure?
Oh.
I don't know.
So,
I'm going to know in a second.
Loopy, I love that hero point you gave me so much.
I did that for all of 5 seconds.
You know, as a matter of fact, you can keep the one that Saiyan Fox had paid out.
Oh,
to me.
that's money,
And
He
Loopy.
just
I'll
he
just
gave me
re-roll.
one.
That is the hot monies.
Same Fox sheet because he sacrificed shall be rewarded. Immediate reroll.
Well, that's only a 19, so that went up from a 1 to a 3.
And then Marshall as well.
Oh, well, I'm gonna spend mine.
Collecting one. That hole in the wall was worth a hero point, which he will also immediately use because everyone just great timing, Jen.
Much
Everyone
better.
just super failed a bunch of will
Super
saves.
value.
So what do you got? You got 19?
Yes.
You are frightened too.
I rolled it into a 33.
Okay.
27.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What do you got?
20.
Frightened too. And that brings us around to Rasheen.
So just kind of gritting methodically as she just stares at these things, keeping popping up, then kind of grinning as Marshall plows through the wall. Go turn his brains into paste. I'll handle these out here. Schlade! And blast the one that's right in front of Eleonora. Yeah, very much so. 38.
Withered away to ash.
And then she's going-
Imagine if you weren't here and you guys literally could not kill these. Just have to deal with a
I
bunch
would
of
be very
moves
sad.
constantly.
Well, then I would have pulled out the silver sheen in my pocket because I listened to my own advice.
Because you're not a loser.
Marv.
You bought one for me and put it in my pocket.
Don't give me that look.
This
One
is the
action
look
left
of
for Shane.
ultimate
I have 2
judgment.
actions left because I'm hasted.
All right.
So she's going to actually move up behind Eleonora with a hasted stride and snap that shield up in front of her.
So for reference, because this is because of where everybody is, the lighting is a bit awkward. Marshall has destroyed the wall in front of him. This wall here is still very much standing. So there's still a wall to the left, though. You're still in a hallway. You can see that the end of it behind you is jagged, broken rubble, but the 10 feet in front of Marshall has been just destroyed.
You could also hear it.
If you know it's still standing, why is there a question mark over it?
Because I'm giving you information. It's the information pane.
And I need to take persistent damage.
You do, in fact, need to take.
Oh yeah, I forgot to roll my.
You take 6, and Marshall takes 5. Which is funny, because he's bleeding for twice as much as you, but dies.
My dice.
Oh,
And I
And
do not pass.
Eleonora has been struck. Yours ended. Right?
So-
Your bleed ended?
I never took bleed once. I got it and then
1. It's if I forget, it's just the dice. I just say you don't take any.
yeah. Okay.
Resume.
Resme will move up toward the hole so she can actually see the caster.
Okie dokie. Up behind Marshall?
If I can see him from under his legs,
Yeah, you can see through Marshall's
where we
giant
know there's
body.
not that much going on anyway.
Oh my god, so mean.
And she'll look through the doorway and she'll go, there you are. Temporis! And she'll cast out a wave of slowing energy, and the air will congeal around him, and he owes me a fortitude save.
Okay. 26. He is a wizard. His fortitude save, not great.
That is going to fail. He is slowed one for 1 minute.
Slowed one forever.
Slowed
the
one
rest
for the
of his
rest of his
life.
life.
And
Thank you.
Resme will then do a little twirl around in the air and go, that's lovely. Flee. And shield up. No, I moved. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Ignore me.
Eleonora.
Eleonora is going to simply turn around. Heard the wall crash, right? Good. She's just gonna walk past Roshin, not even run. You got this one. Just walk around to the wizard.
Roshin will gesture you past her.
Just
Hello.
hello, hello, my friend. I'm actually gonna attempt a fascinating performance on him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do a performance, to dance with him. I want this to work.
Hello, my name is
Hello.
Eleonora. You keep making me see my dead mother.
Prepared to die.
For a 30. Oh, my brain just farted.
That was hard.
This is a
Minus two,
will
15.
right?
Yeah.
30
39.
anything passes.
39.
Yeah. 39
Yeah.
critically succeeds.
Yeah, so he's fascinated by me. I have panache. I'm gonna strike him. He's gonna lose fascination immediately.
Very fascinated by the sword about to hit him in the face.
Hey, look at this. Shing. 29.
29 will hit just.
Ooh.
His
For
fascination, he still is clearly well trained.
12, 22, 30 damage.
Turn that 5 into an 8. Okay.
Well, you don't have your water hat behind now, do you?
Yeah, with that second huge strike from your blade and Volley here having largely run him through, as she pulls the rapier back out, you come in and strike him. Well, Brazak, I'm simply here for information. My friends clearly won't hesitate to kill you. And he, staggering back from just the force of these hits here, grits his teeth defiantly, absolutely unwilling to throw in this particular towel. Fine. If you've pushed me so far, if I must, so be it. Vacare, artificium perfende lo tenebris, redant vitanuam dolorem contio. And as he chants out this spell, just slight movements of his fingers as he's almost losing his feet from sheer blood loss in here.
Can I know what that is?
You have no idea. It, as far as you can tell, again, it's heavily modified. It's similar to the summoning spell he had just used to pull through this last strange little chain devil thing. And as he stops focus on that spell, the summon finishing, that chain devil
I got a 20.
simply phases back out from whence it came.
Ah.
But this has been modified so dramatically as to no longer really even be a summoning spell. This isn't pulling through an echo like a traditional summon. This is almost a plea, calling out to something from hell for aid and giving it the means to answer. And as the spell completes, you can tell clearly, both of you here, he pours a lot of effort into this, a lot of his own energy, and he doesn't have a whole lot left to give, really. But as it does, you see again blue light, like you'd seen flash on the door and what the chain devils had arrived in the first place, ripple out from him in a wave that looks almost like a heat haze shaping the air a bit. And at that, he would straight drop down to his knees, no longer with the strength to remain standing. But in the back of the room, this blue light would flash and coalesce again into something else. A creature that looks very different from these chain beasts that you'd called. A creature that you're not even positive should be called a creature in the first place, as it looks like it is more steel and mechanisms than it is flesh. It has the torso, most of it, of a human, expanded, oversized, feet across and a head atop it, but where eyes would rest, metallic syringes jut out. Tubes and piping are connected and hooked all over this thing's flesh, where in several areas the skin has been entirely removed, seemingly to allow better access to whatever this contraption is. Though as you look at it, it doesn't seem to be a creature in a contraption. The device itself is the creature. It arrives with a whirring of steel, pounding metal on stone, and the strange sounds of pistons and pumps constantly running even its basest movements. The slash of almost a sharpening blade as its clawed hands mesh together, each ending not in fingers, but in triangular swords. This thing is an absolute freaking nightmare of a creature.
So not a goose.
Heck? Oh my god.
Pass it around.
Came out of Doom or something.
The worm is the spice.
Oh, the good.
We talked about this.
Now the most important question
I
is,
don't like it.
I don't
Does it
like
bleed?
it.
Where is it?
Here.
Oh.
Slightly better art for the chat, perhaps.
Ew.
Ah.
not my lizard friend.
As this thing appears, the top of this round, with a 38 on initiative.
Jesus.
Does it appear on the initiative table or just at the top of the round?
It appears as Brazzak does his cast here, seems to immediately assess the room, as if it had been here the entire time. Barely a stall before it begins acting. And reaching out towards those that are in front of it. Slashing blade hands coming down towards Trishik first as the
Nimble
closest.
dodge.
Oh no!
Dodge.
He has lobster claws for hands.
He has lobster claws for hands.
42.
Definitely crit.
And even with your dodge, this thing almost seems to understand, to calculate how you are going to move before you even do. It doesn't fight like anything you've ever seen. It doesn't even fight like these chain devils. It's not slashing at you. It almost doesn't even seem like it's moving with intent to kill. Its hand moves down, its wrist twisting and pivoting, flicking a blade into your abdomen and across, surgically and precisely, a perfectly horizontal cut across your middle. It's relatively deep. It hurts a lot. You take 58 points of slashing damage and are bleeding very severely from this perfect slice that has just opened on you. And then it turns the other hand, reaching out something very similar towards Resme.
We'll also nimble dodge.
And Dragonic Soul in the chat, apparently a big fan of this thing. The Midnight Lord is sick of these meddling kids and their lizard assassin. The villain point for the villain point stack.
Oh no, our back line.
It's going to be. I'm gonna use. Well, my oldest villain point is actually also from you, so I'm gonna use that one immediately.
I think we know who has it out for us.
That's gonna be a 30 even.
A 30 even will just miss her.
You have 29 base AC.
No, with shield plus
didn't
nimble
cast
dodge.
shield, you moved.
Yes, I did. Oh, that's right.
You moved.
No, I didn't. So yeah, that will just catch me.
Sad.
Nope. Drakeheart? Does Drakeheart stack?
You didn't drink it.
You don't have any engines on.
Oh, that's right, I don't.
You are
Yeah.
going to take 30 points of slashing damage.
I will break my shield. Oh, no, that I didn't cast.
Don't have a shield.
That's right, sorry.
Still don't have a shield.
Been over this twice now.
You will also, as you're even faced away from him, this claw comes in. Trishik, you can see this other arm reaches past.
111.
It cuts perfectly vertically down Resme's back, under her ribs, like behind a kidney, opening a similar, precise bleeding wound.
69.
So you're bleeding pretty badly now as well. And then,
Ooh.
as all of you kind of turn to see this thing, it does have something in common with the strange change devils. Its flesh, what is there amidst these machinations, does seem to be constantly shifting. But rather than replaced with bits and pieces of someone that you know, it's replaced with bits and pieces of you.
Ooh. That's gross.
Everybody make me a will save.
That's good enough.
Does your thing give any... You just distracted Brazzak, right? It doesn't give anything, because it's a visual effect. It doesn't give anything to them.
Nah, that was just a performance.
So, thank you, ZJSAL2, for that hero point,
Just Brazak off the board.
which will hopefully...
Brazzak is down at this point after what he's invested here. He's clearly incapable of it. It doesn't look like he's...
And still bleeding.
Yeah, he's still bleeding. If he's... it doesn't even look like he's going to be conscious in a few seconds,
Okay.
much less a major threat.
I was just checking because judging by how the spell was performed, I'm like, did he sacrifice his life to summon this thing? Because it sounds like he did.
Well, he didn't have a whole lot of life yet. You guys beat the crap out of him. All right, Rasheen?
Yeah, you did it there for the 23.
You are stunned 1.
Jeez.
Use that action.
Resme is going to.
You will save.
Oh, sorry. 33.
Eleonora,
21.
you are stunned 1. Marshall,
34.
you are okay. Trishik,
Also stunned. Got a 21.
you are stunned 1. And Trishik, give 2 actions.
Well, I'll go on ahead and hand you this back, I guess. So I'm frightened 1 now. This thing has just appeared behind me.
Probably frightened 4 about that point.
I'm going to double mobility away.
Spooky. Spooky,
Excellent.
man. All right, and as he retreats, Marshall,
And I take persistent.
you do take resistant. You will bleed for 11 points of damage.
So, I see this abomination, and I don't like it. Because it reminds me too much of the alchemy golems that I faced earlier that
This
actually
is
downed me.
way more horror. Look, this is the golem. The golem looks like a doofus.
Yeah.
That thing's horrifying.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, those doofuses killed me, sort of.
Knocked you unconscious.
They only knocked you unconscious.
know
That's true. It was
Yeah,
it was Eleonora.
Eleonora.
Point is, that is a much more scarier thing, so I'm going to psych myself up, take 1 step forward, and take a smack at it as hard as I can. Because, you know, I do martial things. 30... No, 40.
40?
40.
40.
I rolled a
even.
19. Yep.
40 will hit.
Does it crit?
No.
Oh. Jeez. 13. 30 plus 4 fire damage, so 34.
34. As your axe bites in, there's not a whole lot of flesh to swing at here. But you have a gigantic axe, and you can crunch through some of the metal pistons and automation of this thing's arms and legs fairly easily.
Get him pistoned off.
Oh, and I have to roll for bleed.
I have a headache.
I do not pass
You
again.
have chainman bleed. You're going to
I
take 8.
am a headache.
That literally takes out my temp HP.
Valia is going to turn around, see this thing for a brief moment, and roll her will save. She's also stunned 1. Turn back and just shoot her rapier out for 39. Just flicking it cleanly in and out, straight centered through Brazzak's throat. As he drops down to the ground, and she is going to move up alongside Roshin here, behind Resme. Plan?
I didn't see her casually murder that guy, so.
Roshin.
Right, plan. Pull mist form elixir, drink it.
Resme.
I've got one more action.
You're stunned,
'cause
aren't you?
I'm still hasted.
Oh, stunned and hasted.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough.
I still would have liked to have that 4th action though. Roshin is going to move up. She's gonna step up in front of Valia.
The big, you know, you got the fear in the party when it's like, I'm gonna mobility twice. I'm gonna step forward. Like, he's big and scary.
Well, if it hits me twice.
Still bleeding
You
from
have
baby
regular
bleed.
bleed, you take 5.
Okay, so that knocks away my fast healing.
Eleonora.
I haven't gone yet. Why did you just move me?
Oh, because I messed up with Roshin's turn, right? Resme.
Cry a little.
You man.
Resme's eyes will light up blue. Octus and Frigga! And cast out a cone of cold.
As you try to pull that together, this same blade flips over, aiming towards your arm.
That's fine.
Feeling.
Nothing I can do. Nimble dodge.
Yeah, you got nimble dodge back, start your turn. 39.
That will not crit me thanks to nimble dodge.
So as that, yeah, not critting means it doesn't interrupt the spell.
Correct.
So you still get to do the spell. That's gonna do 24 points of slashing damage. Low roll.
Okay.
I love the crazy metal piston pumping stuff.
He gets to give me a reflex save.
What you done?
Kind of cold.
Cone of cold.
Cone of cold. Okay, cone of cold.
Well, I remember on the other things that it paralyzed them and slowed them, so I'm hoping it'll work the same on this thing.
Yeah, that's smart.
I mean,
That's
buckets of
big brain.
damage are also useful. So.
Also, damage is good.
But giving this thing less actions also seems like it could be a hot idea.
You blast this huge surge of ice across the southern end of the tower, blanketing the stone of the floor's wall and ceiling, and laying frost across the metal of this thing's body. But it seems wholly unaffected.
Okay.
And you're really
Utterly
good at finding
immune to cold.
these.
Huh?
Utterly immune to cold.
Okay. I am going to mobility back because I don't trust that this thing doesn't have something ridiculous.
2 attacks of opportunity.
Bump, bump.
Dude, I don't know. I don't care.
All right, Eleanor for serious this time.
For serious, Eleanor's going to try to fascinating performance it.
It doesn't really have eyeballs, so.
It has syringe.
I need this to work.
yeah, okay.
I need this to work. Here, I'm gonna pass this down.
Oh, a hero point.
Yeah, I don't need a nat one.
Hey, if you change my villain point overlay because it's spent immediately.
39.
39 versus his will save.
Yeah. It has to critically succeed for him to be fascinated, but I just need a success.
It just succeeds.
All right, that's all I need, a success, so I can activate my dancing scarf. I have concealment, and I move up to 25 feet towards him.
You can get up either of these squares. You can get up
All right, there's fine.
up to the corner of the hallway we'd first emerged.
Yep. Or where they first emerged.
Let me move. I'm gonna move the screen a little bit because you guys make everyone move all your tokens. All right.
Yep.
It's only good.
So that's frightened. It's done. Persistent damage I still have from the chain guys. That's 2 turns. That's 2 actions. I'm stunned 1.
Okay, right.
I have a lot of conditions. Persistent damage from the chain guys and
And but you take 5 more bleed.
5 more bleed. Stun, does stun go down?
Stun goes. Yeah, stun is like you lose 1 action. Stun is a one-off.
Alright.
It doesn't like go down. It's just like it's gone. If you're stunned 1, you lose 1 action. So it's like bad slowed.
Alright.
But as you all move towards him, everyone's still here nearby, seeing bits of their own form warping through him. And will saves for everyone again. Conveniently, have the stunned deck back.
You saw that, right?
Hi, Rasheen.
Roshin gets a 34.
34 will pass. Resume
30.
will pass.
29.
29 will pass.
19.
19 will critically fail, but the good news is there is not a critical failure on this, so you are just stunned 1.
So I just lose 1 action.
You get 2 actions on your next turn. And Sheik,
Same thing.
You're still in.
we found the DC. 19 critically failing and 29 succeeding.
Like my dice, he watched it. It like
It was a
it
16,
rolled
and
and
then
then it rolled into a
back.
3.
So you 2 on the left are stunned. So Marshall, you're the only one who has landed any kind of a hit on this thing.
Okay.
You chop through some of the metal of this thing, of an arm of this. But as you watch, as you pull your blade back, you feel you're kind of staggered just by this horrific visage it has. You see bits of yourself, your beard, your own muscles rippling across its form, like it's copying them from somewhere. You also see the metal whir and click, dents popping back out, supports, fibers, even pipes, snapping, clicking, and re-engaging back together as it rapidly seems to self-repair, overcoming a lot of the damage that you had done to it. And it
Oh,
looks
that's
up to
cute.
you, and you see the entirety of this thing's torso, as large as you, replaced by a complete reflection of yourself. I need a second will save.
A second will save.
For just you. You get the special touch.
31.
31. It's horrifying, but you hold out. And then it is going to reach towards you with this little snipper. For a 36 to hit.
That is a crit.
That's exactly a crit, isn't it? And as it pulls a couple of blades back, one driving again, even as you attempt to dodge, it's like it reads you. It's like it understands what you're going to do. Its blade poking perfectly into your abdomen. Instead of slicing across a big gouge, going deep, punching in directly, and pulling back out, leaving a clean cut. Again, surgical wound. And you are going to take...
If it stays on the table.
62 points of slashing damage. As the bleeding from this wound is so severe, you forget about the tiny wound from the chain man. And that's going to turn down towards Eleanor with his other hand pivoting and a blade going right up towards your shoulder.
Okay,
Flat
so
check.
as this is happening, you
Flat
even
check.
see Marshall like wince really bad because he's just like, ah.
Passes flat check. I like its second attack. It's way easier to know what the second attack is. 33.
It hits.
And it is going to punch this blade in, cutting right down, almost angling perfectly around your the joint of your shoulder, nicking across the tendons that move your arm entirely. You're going to take 26 points of slashing damage. And you too, bleeding from the chain demon, is basically nothing compared to what this thing has done to you. Trishik.
Well, I'm gonna hand you the stun card back. I've got 2 actions, and I'm gonna use those 2 actions to try and staunch this bleeding. Taking my bandolier and shifting it so I can tighten it around my midriff over where it's cut me. And first I see my babushka. It's very terrifying. Now I see myself. What are these demons? So, attempting to stop
2 actions and it's just flat DC.
Nat 20.
Alright, so the bleeding stops. And Marshall, also stunned here.
So I'll hand that back.
Lot of passing cards.
He's definitely not looking too great right now. He's just like, oh, I see. You're trying to put yourself back together. Well, I guess there's at least one thing I can do, and I'll make sure I take you with me. I step up and I'm going to give him a bear hug and prevent him from moving. With a athletics check, I guess would be it.
Hug robot.
Hug robot.
Step 1, teach a robot how to love.
30.
Yeah, 30 is going to fail. This thing moving near autonomous as you try to grab on these metal bits seems like it's moving with almost unstoppable power. Even your giant dwarven muscles don't seem to be enough.
And then the bleed thing.
And then yes, you have the bleed ins,
And nope, it does not.
and you bleed for 15 points of damage.
Oh my god.
Yep, I might die again.
Valia has seen what this thing is doing. Does not have a fantastic idea. But is also pretty okay in the health department. And she is going to kind of grit her teeth, push past Rasheen, and just go to run past this thing. Where, of course, it's going to reach down as she runs, its blade pivoting, the arm almost extending, the piston reaching out as his claws go down like scissors to snip out of your leg. Gonna hit her for a 34, which is gonna hit her. She has joined Team Bleeding Team. She's gonna take 27 points of slashing damage. And she winces. It hurts, obviously, but she knew what she was doing. And she's gonna rush with 2 moves back behind this thing. Getting a great position across from Marshall and Eleonora. But with her little rapier, you can even see the doubt in her face for a moment. Like, what am I even supposed to do with this? I just thrust it up in the general direction of the meat of this monstrosity. And with a 26, her blade is just going to pointlessly glance across some of the metal beneath the flesh in its torso, doing nothing. And then she is going to bleed, which does not end for 8 more points of damage. And you see her limping, stumbling as this thing cuts through one of her thighs, and she kind of has to move her weight over to one leg. Rasheen.
Okay. Roshin's a little flabbergasted. I have no idea what this thing is. I have no honking idea what this thing is. Maybe the silver will work? She'll pull a silver sheen and just hold it up to Marshall, and with her other hand, Krasach, and red light is going to push Marshall's blood back into his body.
Stop dying. I can barely even hear like the heel stingers and stuff over this thing's massive clanking legs, but that's probably how the fight is
60.
too. 60 health.
Much
to Marshall.
appreciated.
I can't do that too much more, but
It just like
You bleed?
perks him up.
I am bleeding still
You are bleeding from a regular.
from a
chain.
regular chain thing.
You take 5 again.
I take 5 again, and it goes
no
away
more.
finally, and I have 1 action left.
Okay.
I'm gonna move up right in front of its face.
Does not have
Reluctantly.
2 attacks of opportunity. Resume. Farthest corner you could possibly get to. Well, I guess you
That
can go back
wall's
into the
open.
room. Now the wall's gone.
Oh boy, I hope this works! Conatus Maxima! Max Magic Missile? Cause Force always works?
Except for when it does.
Except for what it does. Yeah.
See.
So as these
footnote.
magic missiles, this force flies in,
God dang
slamming
it.
into this thing's frame. They are hitting. They are blasting its flesh. They are knocking apart connections and bits of this metal. He'll take it.
Oh, yes! The ability to destroy robots is insignificant when you
many more
measure it
you need?
against Force.
I got one.
He's not a golem. He's just a horrifying machine devil. Would you believe this thing is a devil?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would, because he summoned it
Ooh,
right after summoning
yes.
the other devils. That's the only reason why
That's
I
fair.
would.
If it was not for the
8,
situation,
10, 11,
this is
14,
just a
15,
devil.
16, 17, 18.
Well, the polymorphing itself into all
Hell
of
is
us.
a way weirder place than I thought it was. Are there devils that come from
Wow,
places
that
other
was
than hell?
almost max. That's gonna be 38 points of force damage.
Very nice.
Ooh,
Nice.
good. On the board solidly here. Eleonora.
Eleonora is going to reach down in her bandolier, use an action, pull out one of her moderate elixirs of life, pop the top, and drink it. Not feeling hot, folks.
He's very snippy.
I
So
noticed.
You
Oh,
were
yeah.
not crit by this. You were hit normally.
Yeah, I was sitting normally.
I was crit by it.
Yeah, I know.
23,
It hurt good.
35. Yeah, math.
And you're not
35.
stunned, so you have an action left.
Yep, and I'm going to actually just twirl around to be next to, on the opposite side of the person, I forgot whose name it is.
Team flanking team.
That's it.
The other, dancey lady.
We make a good team, you and I. Let's see if we can bring this thing down together.
All right, then you bleed for 7 points of damage.
Does it end? I rolled a 16.
Hey!
So it ends.
You said 7?
But still, even just looking at this thing is so beyond unsettling. It rocks you. Your will saves.
God damn it.
There we go.
That's what you get for looking at my 2 like that. You get 1 too. So
37.
that's we need 2 more stun cards over here. folks.
Each of you are gonna lose your first actions.
Why?
And you hit 37, Roshin.
Yeah.
Well, it is finally that time. Medcats, thank you so much for this hero point I have held on to for
final
3 million years.
Resume is 0 points.
Let's try this again, boys.
Dust is full of.
That was much better. It's gonna be a 12, and that'll turn it into a 29.
And it will pass?
31.
And 31 will pass. The left side of the table, stunned once more. This thing is surrounded. Its gigantic size does kind of prevent it from doing anything to remove itself from this situation, but it doesn't seem terribly perturbed. As Marshall is, it literally would. Its torso can pivot on these lower legs, like completely independently.
Huh.
And as Valia and Eleanor move behind it, it barely even seems to care. As its eyes, these syringes, these needles poking forward through this black cowl over the top half of its face, where eyes should be, both turn, pivoting with slight differences independently, like a chameleon's eyes, on Marshall. As he's healed and this magic pushes his blood back into him. Interesting propensity for additional testing, and sticks another big claw out towards Marshall.
It talks. Great.
Interesting.
It talks. That's what makes it unnerving to you.
Well, that is
34.
adds to it.
Just a normal hit.
Normal hits. It's going to catch you for 30 points of slashing damage as it punches one claw, but this time, for the first time, it persists, following up on this attack, whirling that blade inside you with another one of these scissor-like blades on its hand, shoots forward to close a wound with it, just cutting through like surgical scissors directly across the other side, the front of your chest.
I'm uncomfortable.
That's going to be the villain points
I
coming
can
in from
feel that.
I didn't,
New Juju 299.
I didn't know surgeons made house calls.
28.
As it turns out, sturgeons
That's a
do.
yeah, that's a normal hit.
And as this one hits, as it's landed both of these hits on you, getting both of its claws exactly where it wants it, it's able to land an exceptionally precise cut. Slicing both through your left shoulder, greatly weakening your left arm as you feel your range of motion reduced, but slicing from one nervous cluster up near your shoulder blade down to another at the base of your ribs.
Jeez.
Inflicting massively more pain than even its previous strikes had. You are going to take 76 points of damage.
And with
Ow.
that, Marshall falls and shrinks. And
Where do you want to? What square do you want to go into?
I don't think it really matters.
It matters tremendously,
I'm
actually.
gonna follow with Nick here.
whatever Nick picks.
As it slices.
Roshin will pull you back. a little bit.
This first cutting through, and you can see it is sliced. You can even see it sliced through the
But I'm
front of
dead.
Marshall's ribs, clearly visible through a perfect
You're just
cut.
unconscious.
Even in the heat of battle here. Yeah, you're unconscious. You're not
Okay.
dead or anything. But you did not go down to a crit, so it is actually dying one. It's not a crit. It just felt like one.
Okay.
And this other blade turns down towards Roshin. This too enlightens through pain, purity, understanding, as it sends a hand down through you. The greatest and most perfect of all teachings. For 24.
Just 24, huh?
Forgot you get this one?
I have a
Oh, you took the
misform.
misform elixir.
Yeah. But that's okay. 24 will miss me
Yeah,
anyway.
24. So that one-
it's gonna come down and just kind of scrape across the armor with a horrible steel-on-steel sound. And Roshin will actually flinch away from this thing.
And again, you see that even where these bolts of force had landed, even blasting away some of its own torso, inside machinery, small claws, strange needle-like actuated appendages are reaching out, pulling and stitching this thing back together, healing it nearly as quickly as it's been damaged so far.
I'm gonna pull out that second corrosive arrow that I got, and I'm going to hide. And that is my turn.
Trishik's just cowered in a hallway. She's like,
He has to psych himself up for this.
So 28.
Valia behind it, trying to put her weight to one leg here. She's got the flanking situation. What is this nonsense? Just shut up and die! And stab a rapier up towards the thing, which does not look like it's in any way interested in shutting up or dying. For natural 20. Actually, second natural 20 I've rolled this fight. I rolled a lot of d20s, but that one is gonna stick up. The rapier fitting between some of the machinations of its lower torso, this pivoting portion with its legs that constantly are moving, stomping around, repositioning it, even with slight adjustments. But each of those accompanied by these massive pistons, whirs of metal, and stomps as these clawed feet pound into the ground. Her rapier sticks up into that, jamming up a lot of the mechanisms to make it work. And for a moment, you see one of the legs click and whir, almost stuck, as she finally catches a good hit into this thing. Well, we got the 20, so we can't ask for the 20 and also the high damage roll.
Nah, too much.
Take what we can get.
Still, though, 48 points of piercing damage.
8, Mom.
Certainly not nothing. And, you got him.
I got him.
Did you, like,
Took a
poke
minute.
yourself in the eye? You okay, Colby?
I'm not.
The situation requires levity because it's not great. Stabbing again with her second swing here for a 29. Which is second one, he's going to bring another one of these legs up and around, almost deflecting her blow with a metal thigh of its own. Glancing a rapier to the side harmlessly, 29's going to miss. She's got nothing but swing a third time. She's not going anywhere. And 28's not going to land either. One solid blow, but near impossible to follow up on this. And Thalia laments as much. I feel useless here. Your large friend has the idea with a slashing weapon. No, there's nothing to aim for. Rasheen.
Slashing weapon. Seems to fix itself no matter what we do. Resme, take care of Marshall. I want to try something. And she's gonna raise her shield and get ready for it because she knows it's coming. Schlade, and try to throw a holy blast up at him.
$33.
Concealment.
Concealment. DC 5, right?
I'm a mist child. It's DC 6.
DC 6?
Oh!
I can't even villain point that. That's like it's fated, though. Literal 5.
Oh, I spent a feat on it and everything.
Well, the mist child gets missed! Round of applause!
Oh my god.
That's beautiful.
This concealment from your mist form elixir seeming to thwart its gaze here as it's clearly relies very much on precision. And this blade just catching through the side of your armor.
Step back, I'm gonna try holy.
Except I have to actually hit it first, and that's only a 3, and I'm out of hero points. So, womp womp.
Hey, you shoot this thing up, but as it has difficulty hitting you, it too pivots. Surprisingly dexterous as well. Each of these machinated parts almost seeming to move independently.
I think
where you're
Broshin's
aiming-
just like really
Bit away.
afraid of this thing, and is just kind of twitchy with her blasts. But
One left from haste, yep.
she does have one left for haste, and she's going to actually take her sword and swing it around and just try to smash it
Put
into
your
some
silver sheen in
components.
your shield hand, because you still have the silver sheen somewhere.
I do still have the silver sheen. Oh, is it an action to apply that?
It is, yes.
I'll apply it to my sword.
RDLO, so you have a silver sheen sword now.
Yeah,
You've got this glimmering oil across your blade. Hey, maybe it'll help.
maybe it'll help.
Resume.
You know, existentially speaking, I bet this is how a lot of the enemies feel about us. You know, always putting ourselves back together like this. Speaking of which, Donum Vitae! And I will pump a max heal into you. I'm gonna need lots of D8s.
I have those.
I need
Dang.
those.
Marshall, stop dying.
I told you to
Can't help
stop.
it.
Tower of Death.
I only have so much health.
Ooh, that was very nice.
There's a second piece to that.
Plus 40.
So that's gonna be 59 or
Oh, the
61
debuffs.
points.
61 health to Marshall, who is now at 61 health.
And not dying.
Am I still bleeding? Yes, I am.
Yes.
You are still bleeding, which is why it was really important to get you up.
We have experienced that pain before.
Yeah.
That was your one action resume.
Shield!
Sounds like a pretty solid idea to me, Eleonora.
All right, well, time to try to start hitting it. I've done all the moving I can do. 30.
30 does not hit. It's flat-footed.
Okay, that's good to know. Keep going.
I don't like it.
A natural one.
Does also not hit. It's flat-footed.
My die is really, really scared right now, folks.
I think everyone's really, really scared right now.
Just calculating what I have to roll to have a prayer.
No, 30.
That die doesn't say a
27,
20. 30 didn't hit
Yeah.
his flat-footed. That die doesn't say 20. Third swing's not getting in there. Marshall, conscious on the ground, small bit back from this thing.
Well, as she's doing that, I literally. Oh, I'm back. Okay. And he just pulls out his little horn.
Can you rage again?
No, wait, I can't, can I?
Yeah, I think you're actually stuck out of rage for a minute.
You're right, that's right. I have to wait another minute. That's
Barbarian
right.
going down is hard times.
Yes.
Still a
So,
barbarian.
okay, so that takes the thing down. Okay, so, I am going
Get
to.
some damage on it. That last hit was pretty big.
I know it has attack of opportunity, but I'm gonna get up anyway.
Unfortunately for you, it's already used it. So
Oh.
you stand
swung at
up.
So, yep, I stand up.
Are
So
you-
that's one
did you
action.
stun last time?
No, I didn't.
You didn't, so you have 2 actions.
So I get up, and then I'm going to attempt to rip off one of its arms.
With the axe, right?
Sure.
All right.
I mean, either way.
So you're gonna step up to it, because you're small now. You gotta get in the small range. It's less than
Yep.
big range. Then you got one big old man swing at it. Tee him up, Marshall.
Well, I was trying to use my athletics.
Oh, you wanna grab him?
Yeah, I was
Could
literally
also do
going
that.
to rip off his
Oh,
arm.
fair enough. Let's go with the grab.
Because apparently,
Tee
if
up that
I
athletics, Marshall.
might as well use it.
So, yep, fair enough.
33.
33 is exactly the DC. Just grab onto
So
it.
I just step up to him.
So you got a hold of it. You got a hold of one arm. You can pull it down. It's definitely not coming free because that's
Yeah.
just grabbing. That's just
Okay.
exactly grabbing him. But you got him grabbed onto now. So
The
you
point
hold
is-
him in place.
Yep. The point is, I'm
You
going.
can-
As I'm pulling him in, I'm like, I'll try and hold them as best as I can. Give it everything you got.
And Roshin needs to be a hero for Mad Passions in the chat.
Do them hero things.
And now I gotta do the.
Now
bleed and-
everybody needs to give me a will save.
I gotta do the bleed and the wound.
And also you're bleeding, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20.
That's a nat 20.
I'm still bleeding.
For 16 points of damage.
Oh, 16. I can math it. Give me a second. And then I gotta roll my will save, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll start over here. Roshin.
Roshin got a 26.
Stunned one.
Thank you.
Resme.
Nat 20, so
Oh.
a lot.
Eleonora. Stunned one.
Got a 20 this time.
We're both stunned.
Stunned one. Marshall. Stunned one. Only Resme gets through at that time.
That's good, because I need the miffle.
And as you are hanging onto this thing's arm, it turns back around to Valia, who had landed such a solid hit on it. Its torso pivoting atop its frame. One arm kind of dragged behind it as Marshall's holding onto it, dragging him a few inches across the ground as this thing now just dwarfs you in size. You see what I did there?
I can make a comment, but we're live, so.
And brings its free arm down to slice towards Valia, who is going to do her
That's
best.
sad.
Who is going to get crit with a 40.
Feels bad.
Put a pretty good slice.
It's the bad times.
It's also the highest damage roll it's had yet. No, it's equal. It's 78 again.
I can see the math numbers flying around your head.
I gotta think.
The big thing.
78 again. And with such a solid slice, this thing pinches down, punching right through the light leather armor that Valia wears up on one arm, grabbing around the bone of her shoulder with these clawed hands. The other one comes to the other side at her other shoulder, and she's quick. You've seen Valia fight.
Right.
She is quick. This thing is absolutely unfazed. One shoulder.
Ooh.
the second shoulder, and like what it had with Marshall, landing both, that is going to just like you. And there's a lot of arteries that go through there.
Yeah.
But as it grabs on, one hand cinches. You can see the blade biting in the bone of her shoulder, and on her left hand, the hand grabs and closes, completely severing Valia's left arm. And from the blood loss, the raw shock, Valia drops as it lets go, and her body just flops on the ground. True chic. Also, it's still stitching itself back together.
Well, I'm going to. If I don't feel good about hiding, can I hide again?
You can, yeah. If you, I mean, you can tell this thing as its eyes are rotating around the room, engaging the situation. It's clearly still looking right your corner. If it doesn't outright still see you, it definitely is aware you're still there.
All right. Well, we will attempt that again. For one better, for 29, and then pop out and shoot it with the corrosive arrow.
It is grabbed, so it's flat-footed to you. Marshall, still hang on to this thing.
That is technically cocked. It's not sitting flat.
Can't confirm.
The wall saved me there.
Good cocked or bad cocked?
It was half cocked.
It wasn't sitting flat.
We're reaching. Okay, all right.
I'll take that.
Oh, thank you. Oh, God. We needed that. Okay, so that is... That's a 19, so 40.
40 hits. 40 just on the crit, it's flat-footed. Because 30 didn't hit, it's flat-footed.
So we need a 20 to crit it.
Roll good. It's flat-footed, too.
Oh, that's good.
10, 15, 17, 24. And D6 bleed. And D8 corrosive.
It can bleed. It bleeds, and you see this arrow start burning on it. Where it strikes at the flesh of this thing. It does run with blood. It can bleed.
I assume it does not have armor. Because
No. It does not have armor. It's taking the corrosive.
The item is very
It is
specific.
armor.
If it hits armor, it hurts the armor, not the person. So I do have to ask.
All right, Roshin.
Peeing?
What?
I'm just saying we haven't taken our break and I really have to pee.
You can run a pee real quick.
Okay, thank
I
God.
want to mid-fight this. I considered taking it before we started, but it was early enough. I was like,
Yeah,
we can
let's
make
see what
it.
happens. All right.
We might not make it.
Run fast.
Run. All right. So first thing Roshin's gonna do is like she's got this silver sword in hand. Let's just see what happens. Maybe I can hit it. That's pretty good. That's a 35.
35 will hit it.
All right. That's a decent damage roll. I'm not a striker though, so it's not going to sound very good. But that's going to be 18 slashing damage with silvered weapon.
And as your weapon hits, there is a flash as the you strike up into the body of this thing as you can, and sparks fly. For the first time, the creature physically recoils.
Ooh.
And not only did you do nearly double that, because of its weakness to silver, these automated repair machinations cease as the thing shudders. Its gaze pivots back around firmly to you.
Raise that shield.
It is. What did you say you did? 18? Yeah, that was more of a 33.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
Resume.
I got one action
Oh,
left
but hasted. I keep forgetting hasted.
because I'm hasted.
Oh, I got a couple rounds left on that. It's a minute, right? This was like
Yes,
six,
yeah, it's a minute.
5 or 6.
And Roshin is actually gonna step away from it.
Please no.
Silver. Use your silver. And that's my action.
Resume.
I don't have silver, but I have more of these. Conatus Maxima. And
Magic missiles seem to be working.
they do indeed. Oh, force. That's right. Thanks.
Yes, pew pew.
That was the time to roll 17.
Get over here, you D4s, you pointy things.
I'll see a lot of 4s.
Four,
But I'll see a lot of 1s.
eight.
I see 50-50.
12.
Mid max.
It's going to be 24 points of force damage.
Alrighty. Now with this, you're starting to really lay into it now. With the Silver Strike from Rushing, its auto repair is stopping, its body no longer pulling together. You are really starting to stack damage. Bits of these actuations, these pistons, are cocked and awry, sometimes detached entirely, as you see poles of metal just thrusting into blank air where they've been snapped free of their housings. Blood running down his body, the corrosive acid from Sheik's arrow sizzling. He is starting to hurt. Eleonora,
How's he look besides all that? He's still a pretty healthy boy.
still fairly healthy.
All
but
right.
He's definitely starting to show it now.
Wait a minute. I think she opens her bag, pulls out a thing of silver sheen. Machine. Thank you for
Yes,
this.
that's the one. Put
As
it on
you-
the
as you reach
sword.
for that, its arm pivots all the way out back at the elbow, flipping around completely backwards.
Double dodge.
Towards you. Manipulate actions.
Manipulate actions.
I'm gonna get you with a 40.
Oh, crit me with a 40.
It does crit you.
Yep.
Then, as you go to reach for it, this actuated arm is going to catch your arm, slicing up across your forearm, wrenching it back and pulling out of your bag. So you lose that action.
Well,
The hand in the bottle.
You can just do it again, but you are also going to take. Well, that's almost minimum damage. Woo! That was almost minimum damage. It's a good day to be you. It's only 38 points of damage on a crit.
Wow. That's the good times.
3d10 was a 1, a 2, and a 3.
nice. I get
But
it
you're
done.
bleeding incredibly profusely now.
Again. Well,
But worse now.
if that's the dance you want to do, I start actually mimicking his movements.
So it just.
Yeah, it wrenched it out of my hand. I'm not even going to worry about it now. I got my sword in my other hand, so... I have 2 actions, bud. So, we're going to swing at it.
Drug. Stunned Aura is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. So, we're going to start mimicking his movements, trying to do precise movements in a kind of a mock dance against him. For a 32?
32 will hit. It's flat-footed.
Nice. And you said it's immune to frost
It
damage?
is immune to frost damage.
Coolio. You get what I said, I said coolio. 21 damage. Slashing damage. And
Marshall.
very perturbed.
Oh man.
So as it's pivoting around, if you want to keep your hold of it, you do have to re-grab it. Or
Yeah,
it'll let go
so-
at the end of your turn. You are just flanking though, so it's flat-footed regardless. But doesn't help you grab it better.
Well, the point is to try to prevent its movements as much as possible, but it's not really doing a whole lot.
It's kind of large for this area, and there's a lot
And I
of
can't
you.
grow again, otherwise I could make a difference. So, I'm just going to psych up, because obviously I'm gonna need it. And I'm gonna just smack it. With a 31.
We found it.
Hey.
We found the flat-footed AC.
Exactly, fool.
I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse about whiffing on the 30.
So,
I was close.
So 29 plus 3 fire, so
32.
32. Better than nothing.
No, it is at this point, as you're laying into it, even small. You're not adding your rage damage and stuff, right?
Oh no, wait, I'm not.
I was
So
like,
it would
that
be
sounds very high for a non-raging barbarian.
take 7 off, so that would be 25 then.
Okay.
And then
It is certainly starting to wear. Even with your small form, you are hitting through with these force missiles it's taking. Definitely Rasheen's hit.
okay, and then I gotta do bleed, which I finally get rid of.
Bleed ends. I have a parting gift for you.
More bleed.
It's 14 points of damage.
Oh, did I take bleed at the end of my turn too? From when you hit me with that opportunity attack?
Right, it's just regular bleed. which is 9.
So wait.
I rolled a natural 20.
That's irrelevant because he rebleeded you on his turn, so
Yeah.
you have his super. Oh wait, no, that was the AOO, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually 9 plus 5.
So
That does end. Valia is very dying of blood loss.
your turn to shine, bud.
I need everyone to make a will save.
I got my stun card already.
Don't think it'll pass either.
Nah, we both found.
Yeah.
That's me.
30.
Doing good over there. Keep
Great.
doing sorcerer things.
Well, my will save is what I do.
You have the will save.
Doesn't help if you roll 4s.
As this thing is kind of starting to clunk and ratchet, its gears, its pistons sticking and breaking from this battering it's taking, brings its arm back around, pulling the one up out of Marshall's grasp and interlocking the two of them together as the wrists spin. Sana, Mayam, and a wave of energy comes out as it casts heal on itself.
You.
Attack of opportunity.
Attack of opportunity.
That's rude.
32. No, 33. Sorry.
33 will hit.
I'm attempting.
Can I borrow 2d8s or something?
No.
I want to give
It's like it's rolling twice.
Alright.
So 24 plus 1 fire, so 25 again.
25 again.
Yep.
Let me see what we end up total here. Gonna heal itself for 54. So minus 25, it's gonna heal itself for 29.
I prevented sort of half.
I mean, we'd have to chew through it one way or another. Getting to do part of that not on your turn is good.
Before it turns, its eyes still locked on Roshin. Both of these needle, however it sees from these, lock into you.
Come on,
And
you
see
monster.
Its hair, or your hair, sprout out through this cowl as it recedes back, and your scar grow across its face.
Yeah.
Take this hero point that was just given to me. Thank
Stop
you, Mad
using that
Passions.
guard.
Time to be a hero.
There you go. 13.
It's worse.
Oh, I thought that was.
Take this
13.
die away.
Oh.
Be gone.
Say
gone.
23.
As you look at it, you feel your own muscles start to twitch and writhe out of your control. You are clumsy too.
Jeez.
Okay. Oh, it's a status penalty.
Oh, right, this guy.
Okay.
Ooh, you are.
worse.
I already gave myself a status penalty.
Okay. Okay.
Are you still bleeding from anything?
No, actually.
I think it was actually just
it
you.
finally
bleeding.
stopped.
No, it's still just
Yeah.
you because you overcame it. Yeah.
I overcame one.
There's
And it is
gonna-
both bleeding and taking corrosive damage from your thing here. Bleed continuing, corrosion continuing.
6 total. 4 bleed, 2 corrosive, if that matters.
Doesn't. And yeah, again, you can see it's not healing anymore. It's not repairing. It had to resort to its own magic because it's also a cleric.
Of course it is.
Why wouldn't it be?
Trishik.
Well, I'm not stunned anymore. So, hide and then shoot.
He does that, Rasheen. This time for sure. Mad Passion's giving it right back.
Oh,
You're the man. Thank
we are
you.
mad passionate about you.
That can stay down there. Well, I at least managed to hit it, maybe.
Did you hide?
Yeah, it failed. I rolled a 6.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So that is 21, 20, 34.
34 hits. It's not flat-footed to you, but that hits its base, I see.
4, 5,
Tip Valia
7.
over. She's dying horribly on the
Yeah,
ground.
if you wouldn't mind.
Only 7. Turns out bows without any bonuses to them don't really do a lot.
Rasheen.
All right.
You got more things for your dials now because you got extra status bonus.
Yeah, well, also, the clumsy only affects my reflex save, but nothing else, so...
You already have -2 AC?
Yeah, well, it goes to -1 if I swing at something.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Because
Yeah.
Clumsy Dose.
Yeah, so I'm just putting myself on -2 now. I'm just gonna leave it there, and I'm not have to worry about actually swinging anything. So Roshin's going to look down at Valia, and is going to look over at Eleonora, who's desperately trying to silver her sword. All right, come on, hit me, Krasak, and she's gonna try to hit Valia.
He's gonna try to hit you. Concealment.
Roll me that 3.
Passes concealment.
Okay.
Hit roll.
Oh, I probably should have raised the shield first. I forgot I reset that.
You can use the shield.
Thank you kindly.
This is pretty good. Hit roll. 41.
41 is a nice, clean, critical hit, as it's gonna go, and she's gonna jam that shield in the way, but he's probably just going to bisect right through it.
And as this tail, it's gonna snip.
Yeah.
Let's go. Hope you like having the shield.
Yeah, it's been under leveled for quite some time.
His new name is X.
58 points of slashing damage.
All right, so 58 is going to be reduced by 10, going down to 48. That shield is going to be snipped into
Snipped
pieces.
completely in half. As it doesn't even seem to distract his attack at all. His claws still poised perfectly towards your midsection. Opening right down your sternum, through your full plate into a perfect slice.
Which will
And
gush
make you bleed real bad.
out blood, which will, again, blast out into almost a red mist. That's just
Which-
going to join the misting elixir
Also
around
disrupts
her.
He is
spell.
going to disrupt your cast.
It will sadly disrupt my cast. Oh, sorry, Valia. And I think I was stunned 1, so that's my action.
You're still hasted one. Oh, you raised your shield. Resume.
Resume looks around at the fact that pretty much all of her. Yeah.
No. Okay, sorry. Hasted can only be used for stride or strike. So I can't raise shield and stride.
To be fair, it just means your shield isn't destroyed.
It does, but it does mean I have an extra action that I have to use for stride or strike. So I'm just going to step back another 5 feet.
That's not a
Stride
does,
back
stab.
another
Yeah,
5
you
I'll
can just
stride
not
back
use
another-
it.
No, I'll stride back another
Oh,
5
right, you already know, yeah, it would.
Yes, I'll take it. So
Okay,
I'm
and
actually,
then you also, because you
and
are
I'm down 10 more
immediately
points
bleeding,
of damage. Yeah.
Take 12 more. And 12 more on top. That's a 22 lower. It's
Is this
bleeding.
thing bleeding right now?
It is, yes.
Okay. So I take 12 more.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, resume for serious.
Resume will wince at Valia and cast over to her with reach. Donum vitae! And try to get her back up.
Not gonna die on the floor.
It's going to be 43 points of heal.
All right, so she now has 43 health.
And that is all for me because I used reach. I gave it the reach.
You didn't need to use reach from there, did you?
It's 30 feet.
That's exactly 30. It's with it. You don't have to use reach.
Oh, I don't have to use reach? Oh, okay.
Exactly 30 feet from you.
Then I will throw up a shield. Because it's always best to have a shield that you can break.
Eleonora.
Second first thing was first. I'm gonna reach into my bag.
He's already snipped Rasheen.
I'm gonna grab the silver sheen and apply it to my blade.
And then Marshall. We got it. We got it on the sword.
Sock myself up. And take a swing. I don't have any of that fancy silver stuff because, you know, I'm not smart.
Thought you're not smart. You said you don't follow directions.
That's it.
Oh.
37.
37 hits.
I do what I want.
Exactly.
You just kind of handed it to me instead of work.
Oh, not too bad. So 28 for everything.
And this thing staggers. That axe able to bite entirely through the joints of one leg. Stumbling it. Not down, but it is damn close.
And that's it because I was done. I just accidentally gave the card back too soon. That's all.
You swung once.
Psych.
Oh,
Psych.
psych and swing.
Yep. That bonus health has saved me more times than I can count.
Valia,
Get out of there, Vol.
on the ground, wakes up for a moment, bleeding incredibly severely. Actually ended, thank God. And looks and sees this thing stomping around, turned facing you. Sees, I imagine, Rasheen and Marshall just barely kind of hanging on. Marshall, by the way, who is still bleeding.
No, not.
Oh, you ended it, right?
Yeah.
And then she sees her arm just kind of on the ground, about 1.5 feet away from her. And she did not make a will save, she just done one. She is not even going to get up. She is going to crawl twice. Just back towards the southern wall, just leaving her rapier on the ground where it was. Just wordless, slugging away from this thing. And I will save. An action team. Probably have also stunned one again.
Keeping up the streak.
29.
You pass!
Finally. He rolled a 3 again.
God,
28.
Barbarians don't make will saves.
I already have my card.
So,
He just keeps it.
Justinian 9 here in the chat to the lizard man, in quotes, have one. I had to change my roll points, so I'm down to 1 roll point. And you're up to 1, comrade. And its hands, as it was spinning and casting, and this healing energy washed over itself, still continue whirling as it cants to one side, losing a leg, and chants out again, Sauna, Mayum, healing itself once more.
36.
36 hits it!
Probably
You
for about half
are
as
the
much as the spell.
instigator. I love it.
That's my job. Not very high damage though, but still better than nothing. That's a 19 altogether.
Marshall, my friend,
May I?
you may.
So as he's trying to do the whole like healing it, like, oh no, I'm not falling for that twice. And I just light up my axe, just cleave from bottom like into uppercut.
And as this thing rocks back, you having cleaved right up, bow to stern through this thing, it collapses down to the ground, inert, but for its auto repairs that are running and stitching it back together.
Takes another 7.
That's at 1 and can't go below 1.
Well, it's just what the stuff does, just in case.
Neither of them end. But Trishik, as you can see, just like the chain devils before it, it is still twitching. Its head is cracking to one side or the other and swiveling a bit. Its eye needles jutting around almost at random. Its bits socket back together. Attempts to overcome the massive damage it's taking. It's readying to stand back up again.
I'll hold my turn and over to Roshin. If you'll be so kind as to put the beast down.
Right. From a safe distance away. Which I am assuming is a safe distance away.
Well, I mean, it can't take opportunities anyway. At the moment, it's
At 1 hit point.
Incapacitated.
well, it's temporarily incapacitated until it comes back.
Okay.
Doesn't look like it's
Schlade!
safe to do that.
And again, vines, briars are going to blast out to slam into this thing. And a 34 to hit.
34 gets it. As you see this connect with this thing's collapsed form, Rasheen, what happened?
So the divine lance of Milani in the form of briars are going to pierce through its body and then sprout over the corpse, surrounding it in a bramble, which as it rots through the devil's body will bloom into rosebuds over it as it destroys the evil around it.
And the flesh of this thing's torso withers and burns away entirely subjected to such a spell as all the repairs completely cease. Its head dusting entirely, as inside its shoulders and its body, it's left down to just a metallic facsimile of a spine and fanned supporting rods mimicking something like a ribcage holding this thing together, leaving behind an enormous metal husk. Inert. Finally. And nothing else.
Roshin's gonna bleed some more.
Yeah, one nice little final bleed in there.
And then it'll stop.
14.
And as this thing falls down, just Marshall just kind of hankers down on one knee. Twice in one day. I didn't think that would happen.
Ella's actually going to rush over to Volley.
Valia is just sitting there. She's pulled herself around, so she's not really sitting so much as she's got her upper body sort of leaned back against the wall behind her. Propped up, I suppose, to be this way on the arm that she has. Her armor and her clothing completely matted with her own blood. Just her face completely pale white, almost matching her hair. As she's just staring at the arm laying on the floor.
All right, sweetie. Don't look at it. Yeesh.
Resume's gonna run over.
As we rush to address this as we can. We can take a midstream break.
Ha! I already streamed. I'm good.
You did it.
Bye, Brian.
You triumphed, if barely.
Jeez. What a fight.
Be right back.
I don't think that was okay. I think that was a war crime.
Welcome to the machine.
In a couple of minutes, everybody. Feel free to use the bathroom yourselves, refill your drinks, get some snacks, but don't go too far.
And don't let the bathroom use you.
When we come back, this fight here was certainly not without loss. Yarby. But as we return here, a couple people had rushed forth to aid Valia. She was very brutally injured in that battle. She is slumped against the wall, still seemingly in shock, her face near white. Hasn't said anything since she came back to consciousness. Just telling her not to look at it. Her arm laying on the ground, severed 10 feet away, and she just turns her gaze up to you. It looks like she's lost. She looks like she isn't even cognizant of where she is at the moment, like a concussion patient almost.
Marshall. Horn.
As I'm running through, I'm actually pulling out my medical kit
Gonna snip.
and assessing her.
Take a sip. Help with the shock. I've seen it before.
And she moves. You see, with a bit of a rush more of blood, the joint of her shoulder pivots
She's just gonna
as
feed
she
it to
goes
her.
to reach for it with an arm that isn't there.
All right.
Just reflexively.
All right, we're gonna get this stopped. Forgive me. I'm not too used to I'm working on other people. Bella is like in panic mode right now, so she's actually going to attempt to fix her up the best she can. We're gonna start with it simple. So
This is a medicine check.
yeah, I'm gonna use a trained medicine check to start
So
with.
it's gonna take you some. You give me an upfront medicine check for getting like 10-minute things. Just
Yeah.
give me, just for knowledge.
So that's 14 on the die plus 28. 28
So what's
total.
your proficiency in?
I'm medicine. I am expert.
Looking at this is a clean detachment, and it doesn't even come out like at the shoulder joint. The thing sliced through the bone, just outside the joint. Some of the muscles are even still attached, but it's a perfectly clean shear. This, oddly enough, would almost be worse to work with than someone that had it like blown off by an explosion. And this is so far beyond your medical ability to field triage that there's no hope that you're going to be able to get that back attached.
All right. Oh, it's not that. It's trying to stop the bleeding,
Right.
stop her from dying. So
You can definitely the bleeding with the magic resumes put in, and quickly tending to her there with that. You'd also be able to staunch it up enough that she's in no immediate danger of bleeding out.
all right, sweetie. I just need you to lay here. Don't move. Don't move.
Do I think I can make her feel better if I heal her again?
Just
Well, she has as much
the
health as the
arm
last
outta
healer
here.
you cast on her, so she's definitely still
That's like a
desperately
motion to
injured,
you
but
and-
her leg still also has that slice where he cuts almost straight through half her thigh.
Resme will kneel down and say, "Come on. You're gonna get through this just fine. Do you know why? Because it's the appropriate thing to do." And then she'll send healing coursing through her leg. Donum vitae. Can I have some D8s?
I don't have any, actually. I don't know where they went.
I have 2. I have 3 more. How
got
many do you need? Okay.
48 more.
So 48 will make her a lot better off, to be sure. But
Oh, good, because that's what I got.
So
and that largely will close the wound on her leg, at least the skin on the outside of it. Because again, the wounds that this thing has dealt out, even just the slices and these surgical rends it's made through everyone it's attacked, it's severed through bits of muscle and tendon. Any of you have been hit, you feel you don't have your full range of motion. This is beyond what a heal spell can treat. It can ease the pain, it can close the skin. It's not gonna magically stitch muscle back together. That's gonna take time.
Valia, you told me once that your biggest regret was not being in the room. And because of that, my friends died. Well, I want to tell you that you did. You did what you meant to do. You stayed in the room. And because of you, we're all walking out of here alive. And I swear to you, we will get you back to full fighting form if it is the last thing we do.
She looks down at her arm. Now, despite Eleanor's attempts to probably be in the way.
Yeah. I've even marshaled to someone behind me to get it out of
Looks
here.
at least that direction,
I'm barely able
almost
to
kind of blankly. Marshall's not doing a lot better.
Okay. And she's Eleanor motion for you to come over too.
Looks back
I'm like,
into,
oh, wait.
Resume, she just wordlessly, her mouth hanging a little just open, like she's just beyond dumbstruck and shock here. Oh, it's a little.
Come back. You are one of the strongest willed people I've ever met. And you did your job.
Resume.
Get up.
Resume, sweetie. I'm gonna ask you to not talk to her right now. She needs to rest. I have continual coverage. Like I'm working this entire time.
Like, please go away.
Yeah, please.
You're working on
Your magic. Thank you for your magic. It helped her a lot. She's not in as much pain, but I gotta get her at least able to get us move. Can someone find me something to carry her out of here with? I don't want her walking yet.
I hand you one of the big clubs that I stole from the slavers. Closest thing to a walking stick I can find.
I don't.
You sit down right here.
I don't know if it's the blood loss or the bash. Oh. I feel like I don't even know where I am anymore. We won, though, right?
Oh, very much so.
Let's just kind of look at this big metal husk in the middle of the room. Well, I very much want to say a great many things that do not behoove a lady in any circumstance, but
You get a pass.
no, it's all right.
Oh, thank God.
But thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Resme, and I'm sorry, my head is swimming.
No, it's all right. Stay here and rest.
The rest of you, your new friends here,
Right, of course.
spectacularly capable.
Yes.
That's a good thing, too. This thing was a nightmare.
It is an actual, literal walking nightmare.
Well,
If she can be polite, she's gonna be okay.
And she shifts a little bit to more of a side, like sort of leaning down towards one arm, lowering her body a bit closer to the ground, almost laying down, but propping herself just enough so she's not just flat on the floor.
Eleanor, there are beds, like, right in the next room.
Do you want to carry her over there right now?
Sure.
I lost an arm, not a leg. I'm sure I can move.
Yeah, I still don't want you moving. Just listen to me, please.
No, then here's fine. Stone's oddly warm anyway.
Yes, I see why, too.
She just kind of looks down the pool of her own blood she's laying in.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Oh. Prestidigitation.
Clean.
So the arm would definitely be gone at Eleanor's beckoning. I just put that away. I'm not that quick of an eater.
It's not a
Hanging out
carrot.
of his mouth as he's kicking his own little leg.
It's not a carrot stick, you
Put away in the
monster.
bag of holding, so where Eleanor
See, I was
told me to get it out of sight.
I was expecting more of a.
Bag of holding with the rest of the things.
All right, shrink item, everyone. Let's do it.
All right.
Have a tiny little arm.
Pack it in salt.
We're the worst good party
You're the one who
ever.
said shrink item.
All right.
What in the bloody hell was that thing?
I think bloody hell was probably pretty close to accurate.
Some kind of devil.
Oh, it don't
I've
matter.
never seen any kind of a devil like that. That's like,
Have you seen many kinds of devils, have you?
not really, I suppose. But
Fair enough, then.
you know, you hear of them. The horns and the red skin and the fanged teeth and barbs and tridents and whatnot, poking in fire.
Are you talking about court again?
This is just clockworks, almost, but more insane clockworks than anything I've ever seen.
Right, this wizard.
This looks like something a gnome would make, given all the time in the world and nothing better to do.
What gnomes have you ever talked to?
I don't know if you.
I've ran
As
into
I
a
take
couple
sip
as
of
well.
my beer.
Oh, yeah, you. Are you dying or are you just in pain?
I got tons of. I still got the giant scar across my chest, even though it's like close most of the way. I'm still pretty messed
Half
up.
mask. Sorry, the names are escaping me right now. Tend to them. I'm fine. Well,
I already have Marshall sitting down next to me anyways. I just...
Half mask.
Shit.
I like that.
I suppose she is wearing one.
As you're trying to patch me up, I'm like, drink.
Shushik,
She just takes...
come with me.
She literally takes it, just sips.
Okay, what is it we
Dwarven
need to
whiskey,
do?
sir.
We're going to
fine.
go into that room,
She takes it like a champ.
and we're going to look around, but I'd like you to check it for traps first.
I can do
I
this.
didn't get to talk to Il-Varashma like I'd hoped, but the situation's kind of merited survival.
Oh no, he didn't survive.
Oh, no, he's dead.
That's terrible. Oh, and you wanted to ask him all sorts of questions, didn't you?
I'm going to smack you, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it.
The slaver wizard was he accidentally died in the fight.
She skewered him, and I forgive her.
It was a tragedy.
I didn't want him doing any more works of magic or anything else we'd have to deal with whatever this abomination was behind us.
That sounds exactly like the sort of objections that I brought up when you were asking about.
I wanted
Capturing.
to talk to him more than anyone.
Oh.
I was the one. I tracked him all the way here.
What you're trying to hoping to learn from him?
Well, I don't know why. He was the one who's so interested in Alsata's ring. He was the one who paid me to come down to the middle of Mwangi. He gave me the coin to pay passage on Stoutmore's voyage and join him on the way to investigate whatever those gates were. And just was used for whatever purposes these slavers were after. What use does a ring of slavers have for a portal in the middle of the jungle?
Well, they're both rings.
I just want to know why.
Oh,
Can you,
I see what you're saying.
can you go search the wizard's room or something? You're magical.
If I learned
I'm
anything from my
working on
father,
it.
it's not to leave things like this as loose ends, especially not when a wizard's involved pulling the strings.
Don't worry.
Fair enough.
He's a wizard. He doubtless wrote everything down. They write everything down.
Especially if he likes the sound of listening to his own voice as he reads it off the page.
Yeah, he
They
definitely
do.
liked the sound of his own voice.
That magic he dropped, I haven't seen anything like that.
It was odd. It was alien to me, and
The
I...
power to pull through a creature like this. It's incredible.
Summoning magic is very familiar to me. I understand the way it works, and his was alien and bizarre, and it didn't function the way it should. And I've studied magic my whole life. I know what it's supposed to look like.
It seemed more akin to a ritual than a proper spellcast. I don't think that's something he could have pulled off if he hadn't been preparing for it for gods know how long beforehand.
Oh, was that going to show up in the park next then?
But
Wait a
even...
minute.
Perhaps.
Did he looked like the guy I saw come from the park, right? When he summoned that ice devil?
Yes. He was at,
And
without a doubt
at that
the man
point, as soon as you
saw
say
the-
park, the pieces. Wait a minute. That was
Without
the,
a doubt, the man who had summoned that ice devil at the park.
that's the guy that sold that ice devil thingy that y'all fought on top of the hill in that park after flying kites.
Oh, that explains where it come from.
Makes
Powerful
sense.
wizard can pull it together.
Don't worry about it. At this point, I've shifted attention over to Marshall's wounds.
Well, he's a summoner. He's a conjurer, certainly, and a powerful one at that. But, well, I'm not going anywhere, I suppose. Well, Rasheen's right. Go. If there's anything you can find in the rubble. Hopefully our dwarven friend here hasn't destroyed anything of use.
All right, so you
I
take...
forgive him if he does, certainly.
Of course, of course.
Would have lost not more than one limb if he was left. He had such power and was left free to his machinations unmolested.
You take care of the regular traps, and I'm going to look for magical ones.
I highly doubt that there would be any traps in his actual study.
I don't know of a wizard psychotic enough to trap their own chambers.
Me and the mist here ran all the way through there too, and nothing seemed to trigger.
It just means that you haven't met one yet.
Oh, fair
Yeah.
enough.
I don't
mean-
care. I'm not taking any
Wise.
risks with any of you.
I mean, he did sacrifice himself to summon that thing.
I find myself at a lack of maneuverability. Can somebody fetch my book?
Oh, of course, dear. Yes, indeed. And Rasheen will reach down to her belt and flip open her pouch, and I suppose she'll just hold it in front of her.
kind of lower herself down to the ground and just raise up the one hand she has holding it to just kind of turn pages. That's about all she's got. While,
We do not have any healing potions sitting around, do we?
I have.
It would be nice to have,
Sure, would you like me to give you some?
if you could, please.
Of course.
It only got me once, but it was a very good hit.
I don't have too many left, but I have a little bit. Here. You don't smell very good anyway, so this will help. I'll take 19 points of healing.
so as the two of you head off to search through that study, as Eleanor is treating Marshall and Rasheen's helping Valia as you can, you find, again, it is a fairly well-maintained study. It's been refurnished to be much more comfortable than the surrounding dorms. And it's clear a bit more wealth has been poured into it, with a fine four-postered bed in the corner. Small, but not without a canopy, of course, laden across with silken sheets and fine pillows. The smashed remnants of the furniture under the wall that Marshall destroyed looks like it was finely carved and treated mahogany. A very pleasant dark wood that shows nearly oozes craftsmanship even in its shattered form. And the bookshelf across the other side of the door is much the same. There are a few small, almost trunk-like wardrobes, standing maybe only 2.5 feet off the ground, but running long near the bed, that contain not much else other than clothes, simple writing supplies, and basic things to run a daily routine. Some cooking supplies, and soaps, just very plain, uninteresting equipment. Picking through the rubble of the southern wall of the room, through what was once a desk, finds you quite a few objects of interest.
I'm using detect magic.
With Detect Magic, you would turn up two things. We'll start here. Two things on the back wall on the bookshelf that is still completely intact that are just placed amongst the shelving. One of them is a key. It looks like a very simple key made of standard steel, shined and polished well, with just as stereotypical tropey looking as it can possibly be. Single shaft, two small flat teeth on the end, and a large round handle. But it emanates, with your magic, a powerful orange aura of transmutation. It is a strongly enchanted item. The second looks almost like a censer of some kind. A woven silken rope extending up from the top in a small coil, just a few feet of it next to it, around a brass, again a censer, lantern set in a shallow dish where incense could be burned, a glass to keep the rising smoke and diffuse, perforated around the top to diffuse it evenly around the strange thurible. This one emanating a yellow aura, almost as strong as the key, powerful divination enchantments laying over it. And while you're looking through this fast identification, you want to give me a roll for each of those?
Sure.
So we'll start with the key.
That will be a 32.
A 32 would tell you that the enchantment on this key is a transmutation enchantment that changes the properties of the key itself. In hand with the user's will, the teeth on the end of it and even the shaft of the key itself can be transformed and manipulated. In small amounts, the teeth can reshape, expand, retract, more can grow. It can change itself to fit different keyways. The rod that is its stem can adapt itself into any form of rigid metal. It is Masterwork Thieves' tools, just wielded. And enchanted by the magic as it is, it would be near impossible to break in a traditional lock. But additionally, it's better than Masterwork tools. It would give you, it would be much better than any fine tools you could possibly use. It has a magic that can be activated with a simple will and interaction of the handle, the eye of the key itself, that enhances its abilities almost with taking a liquid form. The key itself will attempt to expand into the shape of whatever is necessary to deal with the current lock it's inserted into, making it child's play to open most locks. And that seems like it's a spell, an enchantment that can be activated fairly regularly, much more frequently than the daily recharges you're used to.
Resume will pull some silk out of her hair, and she'll tie a little bow around it, and she'll give it to you.
I now have essentially a skeleton key.
That is what the item's called, yes.
Oh.
Correct. A greater skeleton key.
Very
as
nice.
a matter of fact.
You're going to like this. I can almost guarantee it.
And the magic inside it is almost intuitive for you. It's not even something she'd really have to instruct you much in, save for the activation of its power, like the enhanced power. So let me roll for the second thing.
That's gonna be a 2 on the die, so I don't think I'm going to get it right now.
And as you look at the thing, you can tell that it is inscribed around this basin at the bottom of the incense to be placed with surprisingly flowing script for infernal text. It's kind of a written language that is runic. It doesn't lend itself very well to calligraphy, but it's impressively done around the bottom of the brass of this. And you speak Infernal, right?
I do
So
indeed.
you can read this. You are Infernal literate.
Thanks to Tyrannus and his beautiful, beautiful mouth.
You can tell that just based on the writing around it, it seems that it is, at the most base level, exactly what it looks like, a magically empowered censer. When provided with incense and burned, the latent magic inside this will add some kind of effect, but you have no idea what that would do.
Well, I guess I'll save this one for later, but Let's look for some information. You look so satisfied with yourself. I've never seen you look so much like a cat in my entire life.
I've never been happier with a discovery other than the magic warping key.
You should go off on the corner and purr or something. You know
It
what?
would probably be one of your first times seeing Trushik's teeth in a smile, and it would probably look creepy.
You know what, Resmate? That's a fabulous idea. Look at that silk bed. I've never seen such a Severin-shaped bed in my entire life. He'll actually go and jump and burrow down under the silks, and he'll kind of start making like purry bird noises.
Furry bird noises.
Like a pigeon. And she'll kind of shake her head at him and start exploring around the room for writing. Things that might tell her.
Yeah, it is cooing.
The cooing is the word, yeah.
Bird purring.
Bird purring. I like
He's bird purring.
Bird purring is way better.
Not to be confused with overthrowing the
I'd like some
government.
bird curry.
So as you're looking around the room, it's trashed under his desk. There are some writing. There are some writings. There is some correspondence. Much of it coded as the communication that you had found in Sunset Imports. I had to think for a second. It's been a few weeks. In Sunset Imports. But having already dealt with that code once, by its very nature, this is going to use the same. So it's no real trouble for you to parse through it and put together a lot of what you can here. Some things that look like they were left unsent, some that he had received. But it details. It's all written and encoded. A lot of it's encoded infernal as
That's
well.
okay.
Not yeah. I'm just
Is
saying.
it-
There's some in common that looks like it was clearly from or to the other operators, but some in infernal that obviously wasn't.
Is it dated?
No, not so easy.
Can I separate out the handwritings to try to tell how many different people he was corresponding with?
It looks like quite a few. The ones that are written in common, coded common especially, are in a wide variety of hands of notes that he's received from people. Some of the parchment looking like it is clearly a bit older, but impossible really to tell how old a lot of these are. The ones in Infernal, however, only come in one of two scripts. So it wasn't there wasn't a lot on there.
Can I compare it to any of his other things that I know? Oh, go get his spellbook.
Spellbook was on his person, so you can just yeet that. That's easy enough.
Compare the handwriting in the spellbook, which I know has to be his.
Yeah, and it does match one of them. So it looks like he has been receiving messages in Infernal from one other person.
Have I seen this handwriting before?
It does not look familiar. And unfortunately, they were not polite enough to sign it.
Duh. Can I tell whether or not the handwriting was from a man or a woman? I have looked at a lot of correspondence.
Give me, I think it's society to decipher writing.
Yeah.
Give me society.
I guess, can I also do one?
Sure.
It's going to be a 26.
22.
So, you were relatively confident. You're pretty sure, given the handwriting, that it is a male hand that has written this back to him. But there's not a whole lot more you can glean from that. Again, given the very kind of thick and runic nature of infernal text.
Not necessarily. Is it written... Is the language written as a person who might have a bit more education? The
Well,
type
it's all
of...
coded and it's not very
okay.
simple.
It's very
just
simple.
like
Okay.
The
Got
missive
it.
you discovered in Sunset Imports. Like
Okay.
there's no heartfelt letters.
Got it.
written out to them. All of these are coded exchanges.
I could just translate them, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
we'll
it's
just
not hard to
translate them.
translate them, but I mean when you're
But you
writing
know,
like coded instructions.
But it's infernal, so
Yeah,
it's
you're
like I
giving
have to translate it twice for
base
myself.
information. There's not a lot of personality that really comes through that. But what you are able to put together largely codifies what you already know. Brazzak had hatched a plan to operate in Kintargo by turning the town to a different target, by framing the Nidalee diplomats that had recently been arriving and pinning any of their machinations or their work on the neighbors to the north. He also explains in one missive that he had written how he had used Rakshasa to draw upon the latent traumas of the city to physically conjure and manifest undead shades of the late Barzillai throne. It seems that near everything that you found throughout the city came from this man.
But why?
The haunted hellhounds, the tolling phantom bells have been reported, the shades of Barzillai. He speaks even coded. You get a little that he is clearly trying to impress his praise upon whoever he's communicating with, who does appear to be a superior. That he is clearly impressed with the Rakshasa's magic, even though he explains through further exchanges of how to work more that he himself has no idea how it works. He doesn't understand what the Rakshasas can do. Only that they can somehow feed on ancient, sometimes near forgotten worries of the populace around them. Was Roshai Rakshasa, which you have now super murdered in the Long Roads Coffee House, so that's cool. Along with that is a follow-up that he had used their assistance to perfect a ritual of his own creation. That he was no longer communicating with rank and file Velstrak, but he had gained the ability to summon one far more powerful. An unholy hybrid of flesh and metal. It speaks very highly. He's clearly impressing the amount of work that went into this, into his success, summoning one in to do their bidding. And mentions near the end that if this new power does not prove he is more competent than Emberbeard, nothing will.
Emberbeard.
If I had never met a dwarf, I would not know who to look at for that name. But, and yelling back at Marshall, does the name Emberbeard sound like a man you might know?
That's my last name, yeah. Yes. I throw the potato. I was munching on
As you go to throw it, her hand just comes to
I'm
go.
like, no. I get it up and I'm like hobbling over on my axe.
She's trying to pull her back, not using water strength.
That sounds like contested athletics.
It does sound like a test on
Roll an
athletics.
athletics check, Eleonora.
What am I going against?
For his fort save, his fort DC.
What's your fort DC?
21.
That is a
31.
20.
Because I'm sure 21's your save, right?
21's my save.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
31. Like, there's
31.
no way his fort's 11.
Yeah, no, it's 25 total.
Yeah, you
I
cannot,
rolled
you
low.
cannot restrain the marshal.
I'm just dragging you along while I was
No,
crippled.
she's let's go, whatever. If you want to bleed, you want to bleed. And she just turns over to Roisin.
I'm coming into the room just
down
on.
to sit next to her.
I am holding,
What are you talking about?
you are the
Emberbeard?
I'm holding the book
Yes.
Yeah.
so that
That's fine.
Malia can go and flip through pages.
I do believe that men with your name has been mentioned in papers.
You suggesting my family is I can't read that, so you might have to read it for me.
Both coded and an infernal, so you double can't read it.
All dwarves know.
Didn't you say something about your father being a very horrible person?
Well, he was an alcoholic, like every other dwarf in my family. However, he was pretty jolly. It's when he had a taste of that red wine. That elvish red wine, that's what made him turn into an absolute lunatic. Although,
Do you have any siblings?
well, to be honest, us dwarves have quite a bit of siblings.
You know, big families in the Dwarven City.
All right.
What kind of knowledge would I roll to, like, recall, like, as much of my family tree?
It's your family, so I imagine you just know, like,
You also
would
know
be
I'm-
aware of what siblings you have, or if you did.
True.
Not necessarily.
Actually, hold on.
I guess
Not
that's-
if he's a
Hold
drunk.
on.
Was that
Not if he's a
related to that
drunken
one?
jerk and he
Hold
goes
on.
around
But I
sleeping
feel
with
like that's
people.
Hold on.
rolling more up to you.
Hold on. Technically, I could use lore warfare.
You could
Because
roll.
I am part of a military
If you want to throw a lore warfare, go for it.
He wants to roll a die.
Who wants to roll dice? How much do you know about your own family, Emberbeard?
Not a whole lot, because the 21's not going to tell me much.
I mean, 21's pretty high, so like you would at least be confident in the amount of siblings that
Oh, okay.
you have and be familiar with them.
So-
You would know that also similarly you would have a pretty decent variety of aunts and uncles on both sides.
So, the most I could tell you about my family, to my knowledge, is besides my dad and my mom.
Wait, 1 second. Resme will go into her bag, take out a sheet of paper, and start building a detailed family tree off of what he's telling her.
But so far he's told you he has a dad and a mom. So you
Yep,
have
we're
a line.
starting there.
Okay, you know what? I literally just take some of the blood from my wound. I'm like, I'll just do it at myself. And
That's so unsanitary.
it's Marshall. You think he cares? So after about like 5 or 20 minutes, you know that like meme where it's the guy like trying to explain everything.
You got a blood-stained paper with
This
just...
has gone over to the wall.
This is that's the meme, but with
What
Marshall.
you've learned is that Marshall Emberbeard's family is quite complicated.
It's very complicated.
Also
So,
large.
long story short, I have about my family divides into like 20 different clans. I'm just one of the warfare portions of it. There's like 4 of us. I'm part of the first Warforged family. So our family's specialty was making grand and impressive weapons. And we did a lot of trade and craft at first before we, you know, tested our weapons a little bit more passionately. However, we do have a family, and I just hobble over to the other side, over here, that do like to dabble in fancy ancient dwarven magics.
All right, so Resme's made her kind of own map in her head, and she's kind of taking that and she's going to make another map of just that part of the family on her own piece of paper, since that seems to be the group of people we're probably interested in.
So, as far as I can tell, I don't know a whole lot about all my families, but I know roughly what each portion of the family is good at and what they were doing. So,
Well, that's
as much as I can
impressive.
tell you.
All right, so
And then I sit back down, pull out another potato.
Actually, pretty much nailed Galarian dwarven lore on the head.
I
They
just,
have like clans with different, like they have like, the clans and they have guilds below that largely run like Crafters Guild and Soldiers Guild and.
funny part is, I pretty much out of game. Just made that all up on the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantasy tabletop role-playing game, so you know you got the dwarven stereotypes on lockdown. You're good.
I mean, I'm an alcoholic.
Tropes are tropes for a reason.
Tropes are tools. They work
Well-
out.
Tropes are tools.
there's probably a fairly decent genealogy library somewhere around here.
Probably.
I'm wondering if I couldn't get a hold of it and find out a little bit more about this branch of the family, if that mightn't help. I'm good at genealogy research. But before we do that, let me look around a bit more.
Well, the only other suggestion I have, as I put my drink down, is, well, the home I grew up in is still vacant. If you want to take a look at my dad's old books.
Well, that might be a good idea. I mean, maybe he's one of those men who likes to write down all of his amorous encounters. I've met many elves like that.
I wouldn't say writing was exactly my father's strong suit. He more like myself, doodled everything.
Yeah, but maybe he put like hash marks or something in there, and I can at least tell how many children
It
he
looks like
thought
the
he had.
inside of like.
You just
This
give
looks like the beginning of Strange Aeons in here. There's like insane blood scrawlings,
The
finger
best-
painted all over the walls now.
Marshall's depiction of his family tree is basically a kid's finger painting, but with his own blood.
It's okay. We'll just blame the wizard. We'll say he did all this.
The wizard was a raving.
Raging crazy. He's crazy.
I will go back over to the wizard, and I'm going to look over him a little bit more carefully.
Now, he has a few things of interest, like it seems every member of the Scarlet Triad. Around a golden braided rope belt, he has a pair of manacles emblazoned with the symbol of the Triad itself in red. He has a morning star on his hip at the other side, which bears a few simple runes in its haft. It's a +1 striking morning star. I'm not going to make you roll for that at this point. Additionally, inside his vestments, just inside the back of the collar, is a simple rune as well. So his robes are actually +1 explorer's clothing.
Oh,
Just +1.
Just +1. He has a ring of keys that have they seem to be very similar in make, but clearly to different similar doors, so logic would proceed to it's probably the various rooms of this tower. And he has another book on him aside from the spell book that you had pinched. He has a book labeled in large infernal runes across the cover, just a trio of them, that translates as well as you can tell to an extraplanar registry or an outsider registry.
at this, her eyes will kind of go wide, and she's gonna tuck that away for the moment.
This is for later.
That is definitely for later. We're not talking about that at the moment.
Fair enough. I mean, nobody would just look like a book to anyone else, so
That's going in her bag of holding.
I figure most of this would.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
this
but it
she's
doesn't-
not telling
you
anybody
can't read
about,
it
and
for
it's
all, it
going
doesn't
in
look
her
interesting to
bag of
anybody else.
holding.
She just pockets it.
That's why I'm saying, like, it wouldn't look out of the ordinary
Yeah.
for you to just put that away
Put that
and
in
not
my
say anything.
exactly. It's like it's a book. Resume's dumb about those things.
Trishik. Before we move forward here, Justinian 9 in the chat. Getting you a second hero point
I have 2 coins.
to add to your little stack. That fight burnt through some hero points pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
At that, Severin will kind of go, I'm under the blanket. It's mighty cozy.
Or throw a carrot at him.
Hey. He'll come out and he'll kind of grab the carrot and he'll take it back underneath with him.
Stop that bloody singing! I have a headache.
And then the normal books that were on his shelves. Anything interesting?
It is a lot of not just geographical histories and treatises of various locations throughout the Inner Sea region, but a lot of research about ancient societies, in particular ancient elven societies.
Resume needs a minute.
None of it looks to be exceptionally rare or valuable, but
To be in all
certainly
in one
interesting.
place
Yeah.
in a collection
They
is
are things that
actually
you would
pretty
find,
cool.
Like, they're rare enough you'd be able to find only a couple of them in any given library, but none of them are rare enough to be worth like a decent amount of
Oh, it doesn't
coin,
matter.
really,
She's
but
taking these for her personal
it is
library.
it is an impressive collection, nonetheless.
She'll stick that all in her bag of holding as well.
Surely,
You can't be serious.
at least a couple of them would focus a lot on various ancient elven kingdoms, and you are certain just looking at them that more than one is going to go into the details of
About
the ancient
Seta's ring.
Ayudara. Alcetta's ring specifically, not
Maybe
sure.
not, but
like,
definitely the
in
Ayudara
general,
themselves.
Definitely.
Then
gonna
this
be
is
some
stuff I
mentions.
probably need to know anyway. All right, this is very interesting. He has it's practically like Alcetta's Guide to Existing. This is all about the ancient Ayudara and the ancient elven families, and this is just this is incredible. Oh, and the spines are all rigid and not cracked.
It
This
would be
is
pretty well kept.
wonderful.
Yeah, he is a wizard.
Oh, look at her. She's all aflutter. She's adorable.
You
I'm
guys
just
had a
looking at your
Don't
sheet,
move.
I'm just like,
She's
this everything?
hand. She's still like she's actually popped off some of your
put it
armor,
in
and
the
like
mud
sewing
sheet.
stuff closed.
Oh, yeah, sure. No, Regina will let you.
Yeah, it's like whether or not she's gonna fight you
So-
to do it.
You don't have to fight her. She will let you treat her wounds.
One-
Volley is still kind of down the corner. Well, I'm glad something good has come of this.
One more thing.
Something spectacular's come of this. We've put down an evil slaver, slaughtered his minions, stopped him from filling the city with demons. We killed the Rakshasa earlier.
Devils, I think, technically.
Devils, yes, I'm terribly
And we
sorry.
Sorry, I-
managed to save quite a few people too.
My manners, I interrupted you.
No.
I am beyond over the pale at this point.
and
I need you
Please forgive me.
to
Yes,
stop
of course.
talking.
Did he have another really pretty cloak around aside from the one he's wearing that's covered in his own viscera?
You're just gonna take a pair of scissors and snip the rune out.
No, it's more like I gave my cloak away to the young lady and wrapped it around her, and now I would like another one.
I assume he has belongings up here somewhere.
Wardrobes?
Oh no, that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to check his
Oh,
wardrobes.
you're looking through. Yeah. He would certainly have other similar traveling cloaks and robes and all kinds of things like that.
Yeah.
He was not a man of low wealth. Though it does not appear that he has kept any raw cash in his chambers. He doesn't have either on this person or in the room any money whatsoever.
No bag of
No.
holding?
No bag of holding.
What
Weirdo.
he does have is alchemical labs and a bunch of
There's
supplies
a lot of stuff downstairs. And the amount of clothes he has in here and the just level of their extravagance implies that either he hasn't been here for that long or did not plan to stay here for that long.
Take some of the clothes. Dress up later.
You'll probably have to get them tailored.
Oh, that's fine.
He was certainly a much broader man than you.
Mostly for Trishik
He
and
has 16
Marshall then.
strength, apparently, so
um.
he's not small.
But
Climb
She-
up the stairs every day.
Yeah, you gotta get 8 flights of stairs to get to work.
Can you see if
that.
Can you see if he has any hidden safes or anything in this room that he might have stored any other valuables in?
I can certainly look, but if man did not plan to be here for long, he's not likely had time to set up. 27 perception.
Looks like the most effort he put into this was getting the fairly nice bed brought up here, which surely was an incredible amount of effort for some poor Scarlet peons.
8 flights of stairs.
8 flights of spiral
Of
stairs.
spiral
It
stairs.
was a horrible day for some people who answer to this guy. But beyond that, everything else, the desk also was quite nice, but from the smashed remains, it doesn't look like it was terribly large. Most of the other furniture, the bookshelves, even look like they were pulled from the same, this tower initially. They match a lot of the decoration of the other furniture that's left up on this floor.
It appears that the most intricate time put into a room was the bed. There is no secret, no hitch, nothing.
And Justinian's got a stack coming out here. To Buddy's relative, the half-masked Avenger,
Thank you kindly.
Eleonora, getting a hero point.
Did he have anything else identifying on him that might have linked him to the Scarlet Triad?
Well, he had the Scarlet Triad
Yeah,
branded
aside
Scarlet
from
Triad
that.
manacles. But,
Oh, he had the initiation manacles. Got it.
yeah, and he had the, he had some of the letters, the coded correspondence, but nothing more direct now.
That
It
robot.
becomes clear from searching through what they have. This too is somewhat of a temporary operation. This is not the main Triad hideout.
Any idea what they were doing here in the city?
Give me a minute. I'm gonna take out a vial, and I'm actually gonna cut off some of his hair and put it in the vial and stopper it and put it away.
And come up the stairs, you would hear some small footsteps hitting the stone, working its way up.
Oh, we better move.
And you can see the face of Miss Eldranior Drought come back up again, kind of strict back against the wall, peeping across the group of you. Well, the bloody world wasn't gonna wait forever. I heard explosions, pounded rubble, giant metal. I waited long enough. You're all okay?
Well, we're mostly
relatively
alive.
speaking.
Are they intact?
More or less.
Well, you just kind of.
Don't.
Don't bring it up. It's a sore subject at the moment.
I see.
The devil is still there, right?
Yes.
What's left
and
of
Sue
it?
just looked at. What in the bloody hell is that?
Well, it's
Exactly
dead.
the case.
I never saw anything like that while they kept us here.
Apparently he called it in from the hells while we were busy kicking his walls in.
They can do that.
Well, he can't do it anymore.
Smash people mostly. What were they doing here with you?
Holding us, as far as I can tell. I haven't been here long. A day, 2. Seen the sun go by twice, so at least 2 days. Assuming that I was awake shortly after I got here. They came into my coffee house, and they came with force. Took me, well, the rest of those you freed in the room with me, and brought us here.
Resume, sweetie. Have you checked in that other room where those other folk are?
Not yet.
I'm sure they're right startled. Or out of the mind. She just goes back down to.
Oh, just so. Yes, there were some other poor unfortunates. They were not in good shape. I don't know if you could do anything for them.
You talking about the ones that they kept across the hall from us?
Yes, those are the ones.
We'd,
Poor fools.
wasn't too much I could see, but they weren't to tide us with safety and security. They spoke pretty freely around us and didn't seem to care how much we saw. I imagine they didn't think we'd be going anywhere. They didn't poison them.
Why?
Resume assumed as much.
I'm not sure, honestly, but as far as I can tell, make them easier to manage. Don't stun with drugs and whatnot. Those across the hall from us were, pretty strapping men and women.
But why? Manage them for what? What do they want to manage them for? They weren't an
Well, they've certainly
army.
been shipping people out of here. This is holding as far as I can tell. I don't know how much longer we would have been here. Well, clear on the way out, of course, when you found us.
But why starve your slaves? It makes them weaker. It makes them worthless. I don't
Makes it easier
understand.
to transport. You can fatten them back up again when they get where they're going. And I think I know where that is.
Where is it?
Summershade Quarry. It's a granite mine. It's quite far from here. About 100 miles to the south.
Why
Oh.
there?
I can't tell you.
But they were talking about it.
It was mentioned a few times. That, bloody hell, did that thing cross their entire wall? I'm surprised the roof hasn't come down yet.
Oh, that was me.
That was you!
Yeah. I mean, he told me to break it down. I broke it down.
Roisin, clearly They have not heard.
And what in the hell have you been feeding this one?
Potatoes.
Wine.
That man. And she points to Brazzak's. Did you take his explorer's clothing?
No, I
Okay.
mean,
I am in favor of taking that.
you can take
There's a
it.
rune in it. But,
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
yeah, he
think
can
we
have
should-
it.
we
whatever
sip
his
out.
current state, Brazzak's body on the ground in that room
He's
slumped
still
over.
clothed.
That one. He was calling shots around here, I think. Reporting to someone. Virus. Virus, they were calling her, I think.
We are familiar.
We've heard of that name, yes.
Apparently, she's the one running the Summershade Quarry now.
Huh.
I don't know why. I don't know what a granite mine has to do with a whole bunch of slaves, because I'm pretty sure they're not running it with slave labor, because that'd be fairly obvious, I'd imagine.
No, actually, I don't quite understand why I'd imagine there'd be a lot of heavy lifting that needs to be done. Slaves would be perfect for it if
Yeah, if it were
that
legal.
mindset.
An operation that big, you can't really fly under the radar. Hey, Summershade's a decent enough town. It's no Kintargo, but it's... Well, I've been down there a few times. I once or twice in my life. Traveling, you know, younger years.
100 miles. It's a good journey.
A gold mine
It's near the border of Cheliax, actually.
and a granite mine. Stone. What do
I-
they want with the stone?
I don't know about a gold mine around here. You know about something?
Apparently there was a gold mine that the Triad were very interested in Mwangi. Wasn't there myself for it, but Resume was.
Fair enough. This operation... I'm not going to ask any further questions there. The operation expanded into Mongi is far beyond the pay grade of the Bellflower Network, that's to be certain.
They obviously... They don't know. They don't know. Slavery's been cancelled.
Slavery has been cancelled.
We
But
should
hey.
go tell them.
I'm pretty sure the quarry... I think most of the quarries down south, Bristlecone runs, I think.
Bristlecone.
Bristlecone. Arthur Bristlecone. He's a big stone shipping and mining operation. He runs not just the Summershade Granite Quarry, but a few of them across the southern half of Ravenel. Ravenel now. Still weird to say. But I've met the man a few times. And
Does he have a housing in Kintargo?
I don't think so. I think he actually lives down in Summershade, not too terribly far from the quarry itself. But, it's been years. Years since I've been that far, especially since opening the coffee house up here. Kind of settling down. Caught a bit less of, well, I can't really say less of a spitfire, I suppose, on the evening I was about to break out of a slaver's tower in the middle of Kintargo. Clearly I'm still up to my own nonsense, but at least I didn't opt into this one.
Fair enough.
Still, Bristlecones. He's nothing but pleasant. And, like I said, I've been down there some time. I haven't seen the quarry myself, of course. I haven't been to them. God, I went through digging holes in the ground. Not a dwarf, but, no offense.
Has this Bristlecone maybe been on hard times, difficulties with finance?
You don't keep up with the economic situations of the southern half of the country. They're in a coffee house
Well, he could be being held
and a barn occasionally, but
under duress.
I suppose it's possible.
Does he have family?
I don't know. I don't know much of the man personally. I just met him briefly. I was in Summershade.
You have some experience with society. What do you know about him?
Oh, let me think.
If he owns a quarry or a mine, he must have some sort of money, which means he or his wife have to move in some sort of circles.
Now that I come to think of it, this is so many years ago. I haven't had a proper meal in at least. Way too many meals. Let me tell you, stereotypes exist for a reason. I ate lots of meals.
Did you and he have a tryst?
A what?
Did you get up to something in your earlier years with him?
Oh, he's a...
She says you just met him.
I met him briefly, and it was on White Rock. White Rock, I think, is the main barony down there. At least as far as I know. I'm not slated to be asking about this. But,
White Rock?
Can I make a society check to see if I recall anything about this man?
yeah, absolutely. Roll me a society.
I guess can we all?
To be honest,
No, we're not really from this
He lives
reason.
here. Like, this is a small enough thing. If you're not from, like, the area, there's no way you realistically know.
23.
I'm not from far off, am I?
So you would know that the Summershade Granite Quarry is one of several quarries operated, as you said, by the Bristlecone family down in the Menador Mountains in southern Ravenel. And it is very much on the southern side of the new country. See that little mountain range just below the word Raven on the map, near the forest? It's just north of the Chelish border. It's almost out of the country. Left from that. Right there, yeah, that mountain range. And they operate a few quarries, and the biggest settlement around the area is a town called White Rock, which again is no Kintargo, but is a decently sized settlement. And you would know, what did you get, 23?
23.
Yeah, you wouldn't know anything out of the ordinary about that. You would know that a lot of the stone that ships all throughout Ravenel and even supplying some of Cheliax, a lot of it comes from those quarries. They're pretty large operations, and if there was something, at least as far as you can tell, if there was something like they're secretly using incredibly forced, brutal slave labor, that they're people they're kidnapping from Kintargo, that's probably would be something that would be known. That's
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know too much about the going on the nobles or anything moving around the houses in these parts here recently. I've been kind of out of touch. Pretty much everything she's told you. Large quarry operations, nice little town nearby. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Well, now that we've sort of handled this little predicament, perhaps we should go talk with the council and tell them about the issues with Nadal and what this was all about, and see if we can't earn some of their goodwill and perhaps get ourselves a little bit of information.
Yeah, it might be wise, especially given how we've been kicking in doors all over their town and massacring everyone inside. I'm not entirely positive. It's probably not a bad idea. Worst case, they kick us out or try to throw us in the dungeons, and then we have to leave another pile of corpses behind us before we leave.
And besides, we have school to attend to.
I'm
I
sorry.
thought the school is taking care of itself.
Well, yes, but she offered us a chance to take some classes there. We would be remiss if we didn't take her up on it.
I'm sure she was just being polite.
This is at the forefront of your minds right now.
I think about a lot of things.
Well, there's a lot of things going on in town. After all, thinking about having friends in the city, we've basically spent the last 2 days in the middle of a shadow war here, and we've met a lot of interesting people.
That's fair. This is an operation I haven't seen the likes of since
And honestly,
Varicia, really.
oh, I've been wearing this corset for far too long.
Look, if you're heading on to White Rock, I'm pretty sure Arthur Bristlecone's still the Baron. If you want to speak with him, I could write you a letter of introduction. It's kind of outside my wheelhouse, but I could do it.
That would be
Take it.
lovely.
Every little bit help, I suppose. Especially if we're traveling 100 miles far afield.
It is quite the journey. A week or two's travel if you're just taking the road by foot. It's...
Are there wagon trains or caravans that go down that way? Perhaps we could buy passage on them.
Well, White Rock ain't that far. White Rock's only about half of that, but the Thundershade Quarry is damn near the border of Sheliax. It's only 40, 50 miles to White Rock, maybe?
Well, it's not far.
Heck it.
On a
That's
good
fine.
horse.
Truth be told, I don't know exactly what a Summershade Quarry is, but I understand the general idea. It's vaguely about 100 miles away.
I'm sure we can get directions once we arrive. But I'm in no rush to actually leave the city. But in particular, we don't know if we've finished with all of the triads in Kintargo. It might not be a bad idea just to at least stick around for a bit and see if anything comes of it.
I would really like to talk to the council also and try to get a sense of where they stand in all this.
Look, Nolly, you know Nolly. You met Nolly, right?
course.
Oh, yes, she's wonderful.
Well, there you go. We were blindsided by this. We had no idea anything like this was operating inside the city we're coming for us, but we know now. And you've met Nolly, you've met Lady Gora.
Oh, I love her.
She's a terrifying woman.
I want to be her student.
We're never gonna be caught with our pants down again.
I don't have any pants.
I do believe
Fair.
his expression.
Never been one for dresses myself much. But, yes. Metaphor at the best of it.
Do you think
Harassment,
Nolly's
perhaps, but-
available?
Well, certainly the
You can always
Bellflowers
just
are very
ask.
competent. I'll definitely give you that. So, now that you know this is a problem, perhaps keep an eye out for it and you can deal with it in the future.
Aye. We'll be holding up for now. Pulling in our strings as we can. And keeping an eye on the road and so we get a better sense of what's going on.
Talk to Nolly if you want. We have an offer out in case you need to get anyone out of the city quickly. We
Well, I
can get-
certainly will, but I'm not going anywhere. I may not be from here, but Kintargo's my home now.
We need to move these people to someplace safe.
It would be a good idea to perhaps wean them off of.
Or else we got barns for.
Yes.
Oh, it's not an actual barn, it's an expression. I understand now. I was quite curious about it. It's like you seem to be all over the place. Urbanite and then having a farm at the same time.
Ah, no, barns. It's, I don't know if Nolly came up with it, it's just something Bellflowers use, but it's a safe house, like the one in the coffee house. And I'm not a particularly rich woman, but I'd bet you a fair pile of silvers that even if we head back to the coffee house now, they ain't found much what was in the one back there.
No, they didn't.
Ah, the hidden cellar.
Indeed.
Just so. Yes, no.
But
they
even
didn't-
that's just the first layer. Did you find the false wall?
Oh, we didn't go into it because it looked like the intruders hadn't gone in there. So
Fair
we thought
enough.
we'd leave it well enough alone.
There was no one in there at the moment. We weren't hiding anybody at the time.
That's fortunate.
But I don't know there's many places in Kintargo much safer for a lot of me workers than back at the coffee house. We got me, we got the barn. Yeah, we got Lady Gora across the street. So we go crying to her, and then when looks at her funny, to be dead by the night.
Yes,
pretty
she's
sure
much
she's
like my
got-
mother.
Actual corpses filling up her barn. I'm positive.
I wouldn't put a hat past the headmaster of a finishing school.
Well, you don't see her as the kind of person that, disappears people in the night.
Honestly,
I suppose much like the Scarlet Triad's doing.
I mean, to be fair,
Scarlet Triad,
if we
that's
hadn't
it.
deliberately asked her to disappear some people in the middle of the night, I might be willing to argue with you.
Fair enough, and I'll ask no further questions on the subject.
It's probably wise.
Less I know, the better, unless I get myself disappeared.
Marshall, will you help me carry them out?
Sure, why not?
You picking up?
The people
A
in the
whole
room,
bed.
the drugged.
No, you
And
pick
you
up
got,
the
like-
whole bed, you put the
You
people
got like
on
5
the bed.
people cuffed to like 4 different beds.
No. Just pile them up all on the bed and he'll just... Because Marshall is muscle.
It's really difficult to get down any flights of stairs, but I wish you the best.
I've got the keys, so I'm assuming one of them is to the manacles.
It would be, yes. The ring of
Also
keys would
have
open a lot of the
keys
manacles.
To all manacles.
I know.
He's like, I want
If
to
you
do-
want to try out your
With
new
a devilish
toy.
grin, he says.
It's like giving a dog a fresh
Skeleton
squeaky
key
toy.
is hands down my favorite item ever, and now I have one in 2nd edition.
I wasn't expecting to find a whole army of competent halflings fighting against a group of slavers here in Kintargo. Well, to be fair, I wasn't entirely positive what I was looking for when I came here, other than Brazzak Il-Varashma himself, but this
Well-
really happened. I'm afraid I'm going to be I'm going to make a joke. Half as much use to you now.
On the contrary.
Well, you've been very useful, and I think you'll be as useful as you intend to be. You don't strike me as a person to be so easily set aside. I understand you were looking for some sort of answers from this Brazzak.
I'm still interested, of course, but I don't know how I can fight with my balance thrown so off, and
I just
I can't exactly.
Ella just
Blend
grabs
in
her by the
anymore.
cheeks, like clenches her cheek closed and forces her. Listen,
Hello?
when you stumble during a dance, you don't just give up halfway through. You find the new balance and you keep on going. That's what makes it exciting. You don't give up just because you lost an arm.
I'm not.
If you lose an arm in the middle of a dance, something has gone wrong.
Keep going.
Oh, I don't know. Platitudes notwithstanding, I'm inclined to agree with the lizard man.
Oh, it's a
Haven't-
figurative speech. I look back at the halfling or whoever is talking about all this stuff.
Just
I
kind
ain't
of
too-
shrugs. Aye, but
I ain't too good with words. Don't.
it's kind of.
She gets very aggressive when she's in the middle of treating someone.
I can see that. The bedside manner perhaps could use some work.
I ain't a nurse.
Well, what do we do now?
I think
Quarry,
the
then.
first thing is to retreat to where it's safe and recover.
Yes, and get these people to safety.
Exactly. And
And,
I would still like
Drought
to...
raises a hand. Look, no offense. Honestly, the group of you are clearly incredible folk, but you look like hell. You just fought. I have no godly idea. Just gestures towards the pile of metal. And apparently smashed on a wall doing it. Taking out an entire operation of slavers with just the 5 or 6 of you. Just bull rushing in face first, swords in hand. We can handle the evacuation. That's all we do.
Okay. Well,
I'm a tailor.
It's kind of your offer. Thank you.
then I think we should make our way back.
I would still like to finish experiment downstairs.
All right.
Do that.
Yes, there's no reason for us to forsake resources. It could be valuable. So we regroup, we recover. And she's still like laying on the ground as she's saying this. Recover as we can, but then what? We go to this quarry?
Well, first we're going to have a little bit of a... Oh my god, you're perfect.
I'm sorry.
We need to go talk to the council, and I can't think of anybody better to take with me than you. You know all of the social customs.
Well, I can tell you from my own efforts when I first arrived, it's getting any kind of word with the Silver Council these days is borderline impossible.
Oh, I think they'll be very interested in what we have to say.
Given the fact that we're the group that actually defeated the Ice Devil in the Noble District, in view of some of the most prominent families of the city, sliced its head off, spiked it on a pike, and if we bring this down as well, it could be enough clout to at least get someone of import to go and talk to us.
Besides,
The problem is they have their own concerns. And to my understanding, the Silver Council's been wrestling with the concept of Middle East diplomacy for some time now, and they seem to be quite single-minded. They don't have a whole lot of ability to focus on more than one thing at once. Begs the question of why bother having a council? I'm sorry, that's rude and crass.
on the contrary, they just haven't
I've
seen...
had a day. Please forgive me.
No, they just haven't seen Roisin and I on our new dresses.
Oh, don't make me wear that thing.
I'm going to make you wear that thing with great
Well-
pleasure.
In the very worst case scenario, I could not always just leave them littered, could I not? A letter on the bedside tends to get attention.
That is very, very crafty of you. I like
Regardless,
it.
if this Scarlet Triad is operating out of whatever quarry some 100 miles to the south of here, that's not only an incredible journey away from here, some weeks of travel, even if we had horses or carts. But then what? If this was an outpost, that thing, something as conjurer could call up at certainly not a whim, but the power to do so. And have you shared most of what you found?
Yeah.
And by the sound of it, there is at least one more of them. Who knows what else is down there? Look, I'd like to believe that I have fair confidence in my abilities. I'm capable. I know that much, but is this something we can do?
We're the heroes of Breach Hill. We stupidly charge
Yes,
into
you-
things.
You still.
Folia, you've had a heck of a day. I wouldn't be asking myself these difficult questions right now if I were you. Wait till you get your piece together. You'll be in a better place once you have a night's rest.
We stupidly charge into things. It's
Well,
what we do.
I can tell.
I hate to be the downer here. Roisin, it was. But I'm afraid that waking up in the morning, I'm not going to be quite so optimistic as I was today.
I can't entirely blame you for it. Do what you feel is right for yourself. You've already given us far more than we deserve.
I don't want to give up on this. If you're heading down to this quarry, I'm certainly going to attend you. I just don't know if we'll be leaving it.
Oh, you'll leave it. Don't worry about that. And you're far more of use than you think you are.
That's why Ella's just staring at her. Well, I'm done here. She stands up. Got blood all over my dress. I'm going outside. She starts walking down the stairs.
If somebody could grab that arm for me.
That's been grabbed for a while.
Yeah, but she's not really looking. She's
Yeah.
just saying it to kind of the group. I don't know if that's beyond. Probably unreasonable to even have the slightest bit of hope it can be reattached, but
It would not hurt to at least go to a local clergy and ask.
Gods can do strange and wondrous things in their own strange ways.
they can.
Eventually, I will get to a point where it will be possible for me to heal you.
I've seen you heal impressive wounds, Resme. Even just here today, but I don't know. Reattaching a whole arm seems a bit beyond magic, doesn't it?
No, actually, it isn't.
It's magic. Magic can do almost anything.
I've seen it done.
You sound like my father.
It's, it can't solve all problems. It can't do most everything. But regardless, I wouldn't so far as to entirely lose hope on everything. If you'd like some information, please don't feel you have to
I'm
charge
not
into battle for us.
losing hope. Oh, I suppose I am. I'm not giving up on this, I suppose I want to say. I came into this tower alone, fully confident that whatever operation this was, I could get to the bottom of it, and with enough understanding and enough tact and planning, handle it. And, well, now giant robot demons are involved, and this has spiraled far, far beyond what I ever could have imagined.
Well, perhaps we just need some breakfast.
Suppose we could look at a bright side here. What could possibly be worse than that thing?
Don't say things like that.
2 of them.
Well, I've only got one more arm to lose.
Oh, that was funny. And then you would at least be balanced.
It's the pain of both.
Second one could not hurt you if you have no arm.
There could have been a demon on the roof.
We have a
Be
plan, I
unstoppable.
suppose.
I think we will save the quarry for quite some time in the future. We have to rest, we have to recover. We have to look for supplies, possibly find transportation.
Take over the girls' school.
Then it sounds like for today, our operations here have largely concluded. You've gathered what you can out of the tower. You've found some information, some items of interest. Are still really no closer to what the Scarlet Triad is doing, but you have a new direction.
And we've been disarmed.
Thalia's been disarmed.
Yeah.
And you have conquered one of the more absurd fights I think we've been put up against
Yeah.
you.
I
This
don't
is
want-
greater Barguest here, I think.
Yeah. I don't want to go out on a limb or anything, but
Can I call this thing needle face? Because it kind of looks like a needle face to me.
He's got needle eyes, so yeah, I'll go with
Needle eyes,
face.
there you go.
Needle eyes.
Needle eyes it is.
His eyes
no,
betray him.
But-
that's dot clock.
Leaving the tower and making your way now down as it was not too
I
late
would
in the day when you
probably be
came.
Spending the day in the town.
Yeah.
After I finish carrying the...
You're working on your experiments. The rest of you can either get back to an inn or wherever it is you please fairly easily.
Well, I was carrying the...
Miss
instrument.
Drought will be true to her word. She is a bellflower tiller. This is what she signed up for. She can smuggle the survivors out from the tower and get them to safety to one of the various barns throughout Kintargo fairly easily. And what a hell of a battle.
Pun intended.
You got some neat loots. You got a cool skeleton key. You got a weird crucible. You got a cool book. You got the 11th level.
We're
You
11th level?
said the magic words.
Da-da-da-da.
I just got here.
Oh, man.
You got an arm?
Well,
You weird person.
stop. Welcome to level 11, friends. What awaits you? It's
I've
glory.
never felt like I earned it so
You are
hard.
gonna need it. Thank
I
you,
agree with this.
everyone, for hanging out. Thank you for being here. We will see you all next week. Same time, same place. Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Tell more about more or less now. Good night.
Good
everybody.
night.
If you want to see the rest of this campaign, get caught up, you missed anything, cool highlights, youtube.com/2perception. Has all the 2Perception show content. Oh boy, I did not have a whole lot of faith in that fight for a little while.